mistakes. Alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all in my blood, all in my veins. They started with perky, now that hair by numb is veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost see, I glossed to it, shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the feds, giving names. Who gon' feed my family if they take me out the game? Keep one in the head and one eye open, that ain't change. I'm quick to catch a body. When I shoot, he shoot, I know bro shooting right beside me. Them hollow tips go through the wall and then they hit his body.
Niggas died at 65. Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
Blazing on the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, how I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man zone. And I ain't talking shit, this my definition. And being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say.
See my license been in motion, I'm a little winded. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back, got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jam. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, that snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it.
Shout out to all the American Aborigines in the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. This is the Wake and Bake Show. This is your brother Aboriginal Power, man. Good to see y'all in the chat.
Yeah, rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah, God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God or Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the source. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our.
Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up. Blazing on the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, highway ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hollering black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. And being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the guards of the gate. So when they say they fear God, now you know what they made.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with perky, now that hair right up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost, see, I glossed too, we shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, everybody. Grand Rising. Grand Rising to all American Aborigines, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's tuning in, that's not able to comment in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all be safe on your daily commute. Make sure you keep your eyes aware. You know what I'm saying? Stay vigilant, stay dangerous. I also want to shout out some of the brothers and sisters that took their time out to comment in the chat. So let me take the time out to shout y'all out. Shout out to Black Wolf, Darius Matthews, OG Green Machine, excuse me. Leonidas, Chief Kokomo, Empress Freedom Feather, Darius Matthews, Turtle Island Niji, Susan Thompson, Pop Reed. Make sure y'all show some love to the elder in the chat. Show some love to Wilmore Reed in the chat. Empress Goddess Nama, what's going on with it? CC the Boss, Queen, the realest N-word alive. Black Wolf, Copper Tone Tony, Lewis Luck, Make a Traveling Man, Shamel Thompson, Chief Courtney Michelle, Kingdom of English, and the Tontonist Amaru Khan of America. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. I'm good to see everybody off in the building. We got who else we got in here? We got Chief Jonesy, El Bora, Fresh One, and J.R. Bill in the building. How y'all feeling this Grand Rising? I mean, how y'all feeling? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I know my channel is just now getting cracking. You understand me? They shadow banned me for one. Did y'all know that they shadow banned me? They shadow banned me like a motherfucker right now. Like, it's to the point where I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like, can y'all do better than that? Like, you see what I'm saying? Can y'all do a little better than that? Can y'all do a little better than that? You know? So, we got to hit the like button, share the live streams. That's going to push the algorithms, working extra hard against the shadow banning that they're doing over here on this platform. Which I understand the shadow banning. There's some powerful information. They don't want a lot of the youth to get this. So, that's just how it goes. Y'all ready to get into this build? This is a part 3. It's a part 3, man. Let's get right into it.
Families had nothing in common. Comments for a single video, which involves what I consider to be fake architects. Richard Morris Hunt was also the architect for other houses by the Vanderbilts, designed this house in a Chateau-esque style, which seems to be based on Wadison Manor. Keep that in mind for later, but they have many similar features. This is also the Rothschilds' vacation home. Remember, supposedly, their families had nothing in common, but they visit each other and stuff. The other architect, Frederick Law Olmsted, now we'll come back to Hunt in a second, but Olmsted is a big deal. He's responsible for not only Central Park and many other sites, he's also the architect behind the Chicago's World's Fair. The story goes that they searched and searched for a land to hold the Chicago's World's Fair, as these events were huge cultural and technological leaps in mankind, so they knew they were a big profit. Also indicating that these architects, or supposed ones, they were a business. I'll show you what I mean in a second.
That's what I'm saying. Architectural economics or infrastructure is what they call American infrastructure. So these people was going around looking for a place to build the Chicago Fair. No. Hell no, they wasn't. Matter of fact, these motherfucking crazy beasts was going around looking for our buried evidence of structures, buried civilization. All they had to do was dig it up, formulate up some fake story, and then boom, the profit, the money. They said they had 10 million people at the World's Fair in Philadelphia. How much money you think was being made if they charged, let's say, $5 a piece to get in? And none of these structures, and mind you, they took funding for building these structures, and they never built none of the structures. Make it make sense. Let's continue the live, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building. Drop them fire emojis.
They say they went to the France exhibition, learned what they needed, came back, settled with Jackson Park's site, and you'll always hear this story that people were pessimistic. They doubted him, like in every single one of these biographies. But these men who built America, no.
Hey, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, too, before we even get started, man. We got 73 people in here. Hey, man, this is the most consistent platform channel. Who channel you know you can go to every morning and get some fire heat? This is down to like TV. You understand me? Support the channel, y'all. Shout out to my brother Don't Do It for supporting the $2 challenge. He said, next time you in Michigan, let me know. I absolutely will. I'll be in Michigan in like 2 months. I got to go check on some property out there that I inquired and got a year and a half ago. So I will be out there in Michigan in the next few months. So anybody in the Michigan area, make sure y'all be on the lookout for that. Shout out to my brother Don't Do It for supporting the $2 challenge. Once again, make sure y'all support the channel. Don't let my brother Don't Do It be the only one to support the channel today. Y'all thumb up the video. Let's go.
They were there to prove everyone wrong, that anyone could do anything if they just worked hard and all this stuff. But yeah, they were having a meeting in 1891 trying to discuss whether or not they could really build this all in 2 years, and they just wanted everyone to be well aware that they were confident. Even if this is plaster, there are no construction photos of this process. Maybe a few close-up ones with some scaffolding already there, but that's all. They're already in their final stages. That may be convincing for the masses, not for me. How do they make these embankments? How do they dig this all out? I don't care if this is just plaster and wood. If it's so easy to just buy all these cheap supplies and make something like this, then why has it never truly been replicated? This would have been a massive business. This is far too big of a project to complete regardless of the resources used, and these wealthy elite building these places had...
Think about it. They already said that the Carnegie, the Biltmores, and the Vanderbilts all was looking on how to construct and make money. How the fuck did they build this building alone, just this building, in less than 20 years? Come on, man. The gig is up. The gig is up, man. We can't keep on allowing people to listen. This evidence that you're seeing on the screen is not from modern technology. This is not from some bunch of pale faces who just recently got out of a black plague that came to America that built these great structures when they don't even have these structures back home. This is obviously evidence of a prior civilization that went through a reset, that went through a cataclysm, that went through some type of downshift to the point where a lot of the history was buried. You understand me? We got to get into this, man. Shout out to everybody, man.
More than enough opportunity to document everything they were doing. I mean, we're talking about people with trillions in wealth. They had the tech. Why do we see high quality photos of the fair? Yet 2 years ago, they don't have detailed construction photos of their mansions? If you're one of these exposure people and or the tech for photography wasn't there, that's the mainstream narrative. This is not new tech, and these world fairs were most likely places where old world technology was finally re-engineered and presented to the public for the first time. This was their way of releasing...
Damn, I couldn't have said it even better. I'm gonna let him explain this once again. Look at this. Listen.
One of these
he said it better than I could say it. You know what I'm saying?
Exposure people and or the tech for photography wasn't there. That's the mainstream narrative. This is not new tech, and these world fairs were most likely places where old world technology was finally re-engineered and presented to the public for the first time. This was their way of releasing new information to the public in terms of innovation. You don't think there would be propaganda involved? There's another thing that I don't get. Everybody just trusts all these people blindly, and yet, who are we talking about? We're talking about the wealthy New York elite who had started other business ventures, essentially making partnerships with these artists, sculptors, and architects, which I do think there are some high talent hired, but overall, these are all different businesses.
Create a powerful WordPress website with Bluehost Website Builder. Get started.
While we got a little break with the commercial, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. Thumb up the video, support the channel, man. Support the channel. This is probably 34th day in a row. I think I done gave y'all 36 live streams in 34 days. So make sure y'all support the channel, man. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to everybody in the chat that I get the shout out. Shout out to James Williams, Cayenzas. Shout out to Denise Rivers. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Shout out to y'all.
New York elite who had started other business ventures, essentially making partnerships with these artists, sculptors, and architects, which I do think there are some high talent hired, but overall, these are all different businesses. Olmsted was one of their biggest corporations when it comes to these architectures. This dude was connected with Yale and basically was trained to be this architect. Like many of the celebrities today, these artists would go through thorough training and then be sent around the world in order to prepare. Seems that he had help, if you ask me, because he's the guy who's responsible for over 500 commissions. How much money do you think this is? 100 public parks, 200 private estates, 50
500 commission included 100 public parks, recreational grounds, 200 private estates, 50 residential communities and subdivisions, and campus designs for 40 academic institutions. Come on, man. Dealing with 300 design commissions, several. Come on, man. This is fake. This is them fabricating it. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. This is the Wake and Bake Show. So make sure y'all light y'all woods up this Grand Rising. This is the Wake and Bake Show, man. Light them woods up. Let me know what city, what state y'all in while y'all listening to this Grand Rising live stream. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Let's go, man. Light them woods up. Light the backwoods. Light your joints. Let's go.
50 residential communities and 40 different colleges. Now that's insane. And you'll see this with many of these different architects. But remember, we're covering the alternative here. You have to think that if there was something going on, and for just one moment, let's suppose there were people in America far earlier than we're told. Perhaps when the Europeans came to explore, there were already cities here. This is not out of the question just yet, and when you think about it, they would have some system-wide cover-up for this, especially the leftover one.
Now this is a map in this is a map in the what? 1600s. This is a map in the 1600s. That's crazy. And look what it's depicting, though. Look what it's depicting. Castles, already a fucking city here in the 1500s. Castles in large cities in America already in the 1540s. They lying.
Ones that were then reserved for the elite. Okay, so back to Richard Morris Hunt. So in the biographies, it doesn't want to go over exactly how all these different family members got into all these mansions. It seems to have happened right when William Henry died, or right when the Commodore died. William Henry bought all these supposedly, and then they were given to his children. But Richard Morris is the same architect behind the building we mentioned in the last video, the Petit Chateau, or William K. Vanderbilt's house, another young bachelor who was going to get a bunch of money from his father, William Henry. They never explain why William Henry was into Gothic architecture. Sure, you can say that George Washington Vanderbilt learned this from the books. Okay, that's one thing, but how did William Henry get involved in this?
And I need y'all to pay attention to this part right here. I need y'all to really pay attention to this particular part right here, because it's going to get into a whole nother set of information that we got to get into. We got to get to, we got to get with the ancient Atlantis in South Carolina, dealing with the bridges in South Carolina. Let's get to that video right now. I don't even want to hold us up any longer, so let's get right to it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. We about to get right back into it right now. Let me hit the screen share. Boom, boom, boom. We lit.
Mind-blowing. It doesn't really fit with the mainstream narrative, and the whole story is that it was constructed in 1820 as a bridge, and it's really in the middle of nowhere.
Shout out to T-Rock.
It's between Asheville and Greenville, and I think you guys will really enjoy this one because it really brings us to question what such a structure is doing out here and why would they want to cover up its history. Alright, so just wanted to document that we're in a area with this type of rock terrain, buried boulders, okay? And this is crazy. So watch this. So we're about to come to the Poinsett Bridge, which is the oldest bridge in South Carolina. And so this bridge looks European, looks so kind of out of place. It's insane. Let's see, coming up on it. It's the oldest bridge in South Carolina. So it really does not. And we're like in the middle of nowhere. Oh, there's actually some more buried ruins or something. All right. So let's see. I got to go down to the bottom so you can see it from the front. It's like gothic.
Yeah, we ready to see, white boy. Hurry up.
1820? Yeah, right. Yeah, all right.
Let's take a read real quick. The bridge on the state road from Greenville to Asheville was built in 1820 by Abram Blanding, Acting Commissioning Board of the Public Works, Jewel R. Pointson, President. I can't read the rest of it.
So notice how this does not look as old as that. Right, pretty obvious. Okay, so hold on. Should I walk over this really quick?
Damn, this bridge do look. Damn, this bridge look.
I'm gonna go down.
This bridge look old as shit. Come on, man. This ain't no motherfucking early industrial age bridge. This bridge old than a mug.
Okay, so let's go down. Don't fall. Man, this is incredible. And just like, look at the nature around here. Middle of nowhere. So you have this huge bridge. There's no, like, I mean, points at, but this is like 40 minutes away from Greenville, 30 minutes from Asheville. All right. Here we go. Wow. Holy crap. Come down to the bottom.
And you mean to tell me this shit was built in 1820s? 1820s, this shit was built. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not going with that motherfucking narrative. Y'all got me fucked up. That shit wasn't built in 1820. None of this was built in 1820. None of this. Facts. I don't even know why they even tell these bullshit ass stories. Like we going, maybe our ancestors used to believe this bullshit. I'm glad y'all don't believe this bullshit. Here, hit the wood, man. Y'all can hit the wood. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did good for that. Yeah, go ahead. All right, go on. Y'all did good, man. Y'all do good. Y'all challenging narrative. Let's get it, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Thumb up the video. Support the channel.
Wow, dude. Are you serious?
Hey, Cash App and PayPal information at the bottom of the screen. Make sure y'all support the channel, y'all. Support the channel.
This is not from 1820. Wow. Like, I feel like I'm in a fairy tale in South Carolina. Don't know if I want to jump that. All right, I'm going to jump. Wish me luck. Oh, wow. Dude, this is crazy. I'm just like, there's nothing quite like this architecture here, too. I mean, they have some, you know, similar type with the bricks and the boulders, but these type of arches, they don't do this in South Carolina. Some of these are quite big. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Let's take a look at some of these. Now that you've seen it from the bottom. So I don't know, what do you guys think? This looks like some old world ruins that are still here. Managed to survive. And you know, in this area, there's actually a lot of type of ruins like this, like over here. I mean, these aren't ruins, but these are a part of the environment. They're buried. Whether they're ancient trees or ancient structures, I don't know. But that is not natural. See? I mean, unless it's just an old fossil of some sort. But most likely ruins, if I had to take a guess. Of the old world. Like, look at that. You're telling me that's natural? I don't think so. Anyways.
I don't think none of this shit natural.
Meet Suvi.
To be honest, I don't think none of that shit natural. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't even look natural to me. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Who all we got in here? How many people we got? We got 132 in the building. Let's try to get 200 people in here before the hour marker. The only way we're going to get 200 people in here unless we get everybody in the live stream to share the live stream. You know what I mean? Share it at least one time on one of your social media platforms. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. If y'all enjoying the build, man, drop some fire emojis in the chat. If you enjoy the live stream, support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information at the bottom of the screen, man. Let's continue. Make sure y'all thumb up the video. Shout out to the American Aborigines out there.
Anyways. So, according to the history from the South Carolina Encyclopedia, quote, named for Joel Roberts Poinsett, president of the Board of Public Works between 1819 and 1821, the Poinsett Bridge over Little Gap Creek was built during the construction of the state highway from Columbia to Saluda Mountain in 1820. Still intact and in good repair in the early 21st century, the bridge may be the oldest in the state. It was one of 3 Gothic-style arched bridges and 44 smaller and simpler ones that spanned creeks and rivers along the ridge between the Tiger and Inori rivers. So isn't that interesting? So there are many more of these, but notice this one is still intact and in good repair, yet the top of the bridge had parts that really didn't give any impression of what it actually looked like. So let's just keep in mind that there are no old pictures of this structure whatsoever. I mean, let's just call it for what it looks like. It looks like part of a castle. And this whole brief history page and story is just not really enough to explain the origins behind this ruin. But let's continue with the mainstream story. Quote, in 1817, John Wilson, the state's civil and military engineer, proposed a toll road through the Saluda Gap in order to attract a great portion of the trade of East Tennessee to this state. Construction through Greenville District did not begin until the summer of 1820. It was completed in October. The bridge over Little Gap Creek extends 130 feet across the shallow stream. The Gothic arch at its center is 15 feet high and 7 feet wide. Poinsett, who had traveled widely and was trained as an engineer, is credited with its unusual Gothic design. Notice how they even admit how unusual it is. Now, if this guy was an engineer, then he really didn't construct this supposed bridge efficiently, because if it was for a tiny creek, then why use such massive boulders and such a sophisticated Gothic design for its construction? If you look at a cross-section of a river, it's going to rise in multiple stages during flooding, covering the entire structure. If it was a bridge to cross over water, then we would see more of a longer arch for situations like this. If it's for a river, then during flooding, it would serve no purpose at all, as it has a very narrow passageway. I mean, to me, it looks like a doorway or a massive window, like this is just one level to an entire huge structure. How did it even get to its current state? Why is it abandoned? So I went down the stream a little bit and I was just looking at some of these boulders. And they're kind of like all over the place.
Right, so Poinsett Bridge, very interesting. Lots of those large rocks that we talked about back at the Paris Mountain video when we went there. it's really beautiful. It's really something. It seems like there's, some breakers at some points. And some deep holes. We've got some pieces at the bottom missing, but other than that, it's very, very intact. This is just beautiful. Got this little stone right here. Nice.
What I want y'all to do is keep this in mind as we continue the other video. Okay, I want y'all to keep everything that y'all heard in this particular live stream in South Carolina about the Poinsett Bridge. I want y'all to pay attention real quick. All right, I need y'all to pay attention to everything that's been going on. We're gonna get into the rest of the video. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure y'all thumb up the video, man. Let's continue this live. Let me get to it. Boom. Boom. And boom.
There's just not enough information about Fifth Avenue, and Washington Vanderbilt learned this from the books. Okay, that's one thing, but how did William Henry get involved in this? There's just not enough information about Fifth Avenue, and I found some early pictures that show clearly these buildings have lower levels that go below the ground. Sure, you can make the argument.
Obviously, look at it. I wish you zoom in on it, but if you notice, it's the railings that go down.
That they're basements, but why are there windows going below? And how difficult would it be to build this way? Furthermore, why did they decide to demolish it? You know how much money a place like this could have made? This was another palace for princes. This guy is also responsible for the breakers, the Marble House, the lower section of the Statue of Liberty, which I find very hard to believe in the photos of France because it does seem to be a composite if you ask me. But we continue. He built the Ochre Court, New York Tribune Building, Bluth High School, which seems to be way too much for a high school, but essentially they're saying they built.
That's way too much for a high school. Look at this. You can tell that this obviously wasn't initially a high school. This is something that was created by ancient civilization, a civilization that has way more technological advances than we do. They obviously hit a peak of their structural format, and that modern people like pale faces recently dug up out of a mud flood and converted it into a high school. This was never initially a high school. Look at the craftsmanship.
Which seems to be way too much for a high school, but essentially they're saying they built hundreds, if not thousands of these structures in less than a 20-year period. They had at least 10 mansions in New York.
They said they built hundreds, if not thousands of structures like this in 20 years. Come on, man. I'll be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs. I will be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs if they built 100 of these in 20 years, let alone 1,000. Unbelievable.
Many of which were destroyed. They owned all of Fifth Avenue, and we aren't going to start asking questions on how and why this was done. There's barely any photographic evidence for their claims from this, and this is 1870 to 1890 time period. And all of a sudden, 1890, they start deciding that they're going to take stages of the construction process, but even then it's very limited and only a select few are shown as if they are chosen to be presented. You must think, if these were truly philanthropists and they had so much wealth, why didn't they develop a better system for preserving photography? They preserved books, tapestries, maps, yet they could not preserve photographs for just 50 years so that people could copy them later? I think they're hiding something.
And I fell asleep. Yeah, they most certainly hiding something. And that's like obvious. Like that's the most obvious point at this point. How many of y'all out there by show of fire emojis know without a shadow of a doubt that they're lying and that they're hiding our history? How many of you guys out there know that? Go ahead and let me know, man. Here, go and hit the wood. Here, go hit that bitch. Boom. Let you hit again. Y'all good. I get the fuck on. Tell me how many times. Tell me how y'all know. And we ain't had nobody support the channel. I end this motherfucker tonight. Y'all playing. Let's get some likes. Can we get 150 likes in the building? Can we get 150 likes? Can we get 150 likes? Come on, man. Support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Let's continue.
So yeah, maps, yet they could not preserve photographs for just 50 years so that people could copy them later? I think they're hiding something. So yeah, these are the people that they tell us built the Biltmore. Yet, with almost all these figures, there's usually only one real photograph of them. Maybe two, but rarely. And then you get these portraits of who they were and their background story, and we just eat it up. No one asks any questions. Of course, I'm talking pre-1890. Once George Washington comes in, he was the new young trillionaire. Now, these were the true Kardashians because even though I was making that analogy earlier, it actually really applies now because George Washington, and I swear saying that over and over again just seems so weird, but George Washington Vanderbilt basically built the Biltmore to have as his own bachelor's pad. They say it was originally for hunting, yet it ended up being used kind of like a frat house. The elites of their club would come for what.
So these niggas had a little freaky house for the old white man. You hearing this? These niggas had an old freaky white house where they little buddies come to and get freaky. Come on, man. These people was turning our ancestor shit into whorehouses. They turned that shit into whorehouses. Hell no, man. That's what's wrong with these wicked beasts. You know what I'm saying? May the sun set on a honky's ass. Let's continue this shit, man.
Bachelor's pad. They say it was originally for hunting, yet it ended up being used kind of like a frat house. The elites of their club would come for what they say was an extravagant experience, and also, they tell us that there were like only 3 people living in there for a certain period of time after it started to fill, right? Because come to find out, people don't want to take this massive long journey to the middle of nowhere. They had many guests, they tell us, but I'm not sure if I buy it because they would have been successful and the place wouldn't have been deteriorated and needed renovation in the 50s. So now, I'm going to explain my experience going to the Biltmore with Moon. And after explaining all that, I'm going to give you multiple possible explanations, and you can decide for yourself what you like the best. Okay, so I know that was a lot, but you gotta understand what I'm about to say is pretty drastic, and I had to have some sort of foundation for assisting people in understanding how we come to these thoughts, but instead of jumping right into it, I feel the best argument is to simply just go over the history as we just.
Let's get into it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you ain't shopping with weare2am.com, weare2am.com. Go get you some merch, man. After y'all get some merch, come let Big Aboriginal Power know that y'all got some merch, man. I want to know what y'all got over there, man. I don't know how y'all dripping. You feel what I'm saying? This is the latest live stream in the morning. I'm in the Grand Rising, man. You already know this is the Wake and Bake channel. Let me know what y'all smoking on and where y'all at this Grand Rising. What city, what state y'all in North America or the Northeast, South Central, and the conjoining. All right? Let me know where y'all at, what y'all smoking on, man. Nah, y'all can't hear my wood no more. All right, let y'all hit that bit one more time. Y'all done. It's over with. Hit that like button. Thumb up the video. Support the channel. Shout out to who just donated. Shout out to James Williams for supporting the channel. Shout out to James Williams, man. We appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all show some love to my brother James Williams in the chat, y'all. Make sure y'all show some support, man. I appreciate all the support, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. Thumb up the video, man.
So, okay, you got your ticket, you're ready to see the Biltmore. You enter through the entrance, and many expect to be able to see it from the street, but you can't. There are trees blocking everything. It's deep on the estate. You won't see it for a while. Which also, I never mentioned there are so many trees here, and I'm talking massive amounts of land, but in the older pictures, there's no indication of any type of nature, which I also find odd. Or at least it looks drastically different than it did today. Okay, so you have to drive for a couple of miles in which you pass under an interesting bridge. Then you continue to find parking, take a shuttle, and after 30 minutes from originally entering, you're finally at the Biltmore. First note, when you enter the gate, there are sphinx that guard the gate. So you come in and they drop you off. So yeah, here's what it looks like up close. Now, we're going to be observing many symbols, and it's important to constantly ask, why and when did the Vanderbilts get such an interest in this level of symbolism? You guys notice anything? Why is there a lion statue in front of the door? What does William Henry or George Washington have to do with lions? How would he know about this unless there is some type of secret club we don't know about where they learn about all this symbolism? Look at all the ornate detail. The level of art put into this is insane, and we never see any photos of them doing the detail work.
Man, just the ornamentation of it alone is magnificent. Look at this shit right here. So much design and craftsmanship and ornamentation going into these designs is really ridiculous. It's hard to even explain how someone at a peak of their technology and building infrastructure and geometry could even build something like that. That shit is amazing to me. Shout out to everybody all around the United States. I see y'all in the building, man. I see y'all in the building. Make sure y'all keep dropping them cities and states and let me know where y'all smoking on. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all know the vibes, man. Let's keep it going, man.
Look closely, you can see that there are a coat of arms at the top of the building, and they each are saying different things. You can see gargoyles.
Hold on, I just seen this right here in the middle. I've seen this on the Tartarian imperial flag, the imperial flag for Tartaria. A lot of people don't even show that flag, but it's a Commodore. And it's funny that the dude who initially bought these places was called the Commodore. Maybe they was on some shit that we ain't even thinking that they was up on. That's wild now that I think about it.
They each are saying different things. You can see gargoyles, weird faces everywhere, almost like peasants or something. You see these over the windows, over arches, in every possible place. They added an insane amount of detail, as we will see. It's much better to come early, as later in the day, it gets extremely crowded. So we walked around the left section, where you can go right under the arches and see the pillars up close. So first off, it's pretty amazing, not gonna lie, but to be able to just chill under there as we were taking photos, we noticed that the pillars had these fleur-de-lis, but they also had the older form, which was a dagger.
Now look at it. Look at these fleur-de-lis next to this, which is the New Orleans Saint sign, right? Now look at this. Look at this same shit. The same design you see. Look at that. Let me see if I can turn this bitch in HD. They fucking with the kid.
Fleur-de-lis, but they also had the older form.
Look at that. Shit's amazing.
Which was a dagger, or the sword. Which again is royal symbolism that has been seen on coat of arms for hundreds of years. Why are they putting this here? Now, of course, people might say French inspired, but is it? Because we're going to explore that even further. Okay, so we go into the court side by the garden, where there's this massive empty space where there used to be a pool, but now it's just gravel. But over here, you can see a couple interesting things. Over here is a windy tree that's pretty cool. And also, you can see the back of the house. check this out. Look at this bottom base and how old it looks. To me, I don't really think they did that with a simple pulley system, and it seems to be done without mortar. Also, you can see that it continues to go underground. We go down to the courtyard to see a pan fountain, which you'll see multiple references to pan here. Then you get your first bit of programming with
Yeah, what the fuck? You see that? That's the Baphomet spitting out water.
We go down to the courtyard to see a pan fountain, which you'll see multiple references to pan here. Then you get your first bit of programming with one of the architects, of course. And there's these very interesting terracotta bowls here. Now, of course, I'm not denying that these can be created in the modern day, but I was looking at them and I got a weird feeling that they were actually very old. Again, symbols everywhere. Why were they so obsessed with painting such ancient symbols on everything they do? It just looks like old Venetian artwork to me, but just take note of this.
Hey, I was gonna say that look Phoenician or maybe even ancient, like Sumerian style writing. That's crazy, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Can we get some people to support the channel, man? Support the channel, hit the like button, thumb up the video, man. This is my 34th live stream. I gave y'all 36 live streams in 34 days, man. So that's at least worth something. Make sure y'all hit that like button and support the channel. Shout out to all the American Aborigines that's out there, man. We really appreciate y'all tapping in. And hopefully y'all guys are enjoying the live stream. You know what I'm saying? It's very important for you guys to understand what's going on. I do these videos so y'all can have an understanding, not just for my own personal, you know what I'm saying? Because I can do that on my own time. I bring this information for you guys so we can all collectively break it down together. And mind you, I never watch the videos out by myself. I wait to watch them with y'all. So when I'm watching, y'all first time watching, my first time watching it. Facts. So that's why my reactions be like that, man. It's real reactions. You know what I'm saying? You can't fake the reactions that I'm giving y'all. So let's continue the live stream, y'all.
Later. There are some beautiful views here that are truly breathtaking. It has like this weird silence to it when you come over here too. It's definitely peaceful. Also, the statues are interesting, but they didn't seem to be that old to me, to be honest. So, from here, you can also see that on the top of the building, there are more coat of arms. You can see 2 griffins. Griffins? Why are there griffins on this building?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what the fuck a griffin is. Can somebody explain to me what a griffin is? Is that a flying dog? Is that some flying dog or some sort? What the hell is a griffin? You know, I ain't hip to the Dungeons and Dragons shit, man. Y'all gonna have to turn me on. What is that? I'm not into the Yu-Gi-Oh! And you know what I mean? But it looked like a flying dog or some sort. Some type of flying dog.
They seem to be holding a chalice. And this is all coat of arms stuff. Are there griffins on this building? They seem to be holding a chalice. And this is all coat of arms stuff. Alright, so now to the other side, which seems to be lacking in...
Oh, a griffin is a lion with wings? Let me go back to this. This don't look like no motherfucking lion, though. This nigga got a slim head. He got a dog head on a lion body. Nah, that's 3 different animals, man. I'm not going with that, man. I'm not going with that. Ain't no motherfucking lion. What kind of lion got a head like that? What, he got an eagle head, nigga? Shit. Nah, I ain't going with that, man. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Holding a chalice. And this is all coat of arms stuff. Alright, so now to the other side, which seems to be lacking in detail for some reason in comparison to the left side of the building. But if we go towards the right, there's this arch that leads...
It's an eagle head and a lion body. Okay, now it makes sense. That makes sense. My bad, y'all. My bad, little Harry Potter ass dudes. I know y'all be, y'all be in that bitch reading Hogwarts and shit. Now, listen, Listen, I'm just not hip on dragons and dungeons and little fairies and little nicknames and shit.
Leads us to an entirely new section. Now, before we go in, let's take a look at this griffin symbol, which is kind of hard to see, but it looks like it's a griffin and a horned stag with wings holding up this.
Right, that bitch got horns coming out of his head. How's this I know you fucking lying. That can't be. This shit like an ancient ox, nigga. We don't know what this is. This motherfucker. And my visuals is not crispy, clear, or that's my shit on 720. That's the highest it go. I don't know what's up with it. This shit look blurry as fuck.
This emblem, which is a V. The symbol, they say, is for the Vanderbilts, and it can be seen in multiple areas of the house. This is crucial to note for later.
Installing cable railing is easy. If you can pick up a...
Y'all, Ronald, I ain't messing with y'all nerds, man. I'm okay with y'all. Y'all cool. Y'all cool. I fuck with y'all. Y'all Yu-Gi-Oh! Y'all Dungeons and Dragons card playing ass niggas at the mall. Listen, I fuck with y'all. Just slow down when you be running to the cafeterias and shit. You know what I mean? The food gonna be there looking at, boy. Now I'm just playing. I fuck with all y'all. Shout out to all my nerds, all my geeks, all my smart guys. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to my hood niggas in here too, man. I know my hood niggas in here watching. Shout out to y'all. I know these niggas don't.
The symbol, they say, is for the Vanderbilts, and it can be seen in multiple areas of the house. This is crucial to note for later. Okay, so we're ready to go into the other building that has the cafe and the bookshops. We go under the arch, which is massive, but the first thing we notice is that once you get to the other side, there's this brick pavement that's completely messed up, and there are crosses which seem to be religious that are engraved within the pattern. This place is bumpy and not level at all, almost as if an earthquake happened. Now, no one seems to know why it's like that, so this next building is similar in design, but slightly different, and it's also very interesting. They have these brick glossed insides like New York, but it's kind of like fake. Actually, these...
Look at this, man. This is at the top of the building. It bitch like a whole nother house and shit up here. Like, it's, look how many windows and levels this bitch is. And y'all mean to tell me they built this pre-1900s? Horse and buggy era? No, man. This pre-1900s. Come on, man. They ain't even started the industrial age for them to already build this, and they always showing you some bullshit ass reconstruction photos like they really building the house but already be built. Shit already look worn and turned down. This shit look worn out already. How the fuck you just built this and the shit look wore out? Like, no, we're not going with that. Seriously.
Brick glossed insides like New York, but it's kind of like fake. Actually, the whole encasing of the whole building is fake. The original building is built entirely of brick. And so they encased it with limestone imported from Indiana. This is what the guy was saying. So they had to build their own brick production factory, yet there are no photos of them actually laying all these bricks, which we're talking hundreds of thousands of bricks and massive stones as well.
Fuck hundreds of thousands of bricks. It took 16 million bricks to build Fort Jefferson in Florida on the island. This shit look like it got millions of bricks. How the fuck are you pulling millions of bricks pre-1900s horse and buggy? The second question I want to ask, who the fuck is the billionaire or the trillionaire at that time that is producing and making these bricks? Who the fuck are they buying these bricks from? Who are these brick companies in pre-1800s? See, that's when we start getting into the lie. You see what I'm saying? Let's go, man.
Exterior construction photos, okay, that's one thing. But notice how there's no interior construction photos. So we head to the bookstore to see what wonderful books they may have, and not only do they have biographies, but they also had this basic little propaganda book that told you everything you needed to know about this place. And so as we were checking out, we noticed that there was these old maps on the wall. And the person at the register was telling us that basically George was some big collector of old maps. And that definitely piqued my interest. The first one is Old World Spain, okay? And then the second one is a map of the Netherlands. They also told me specifically that he had one of Ireland, which was super interesting. Okay, so we head our way back.
Look, Book of Ireland, 1579. But that's really not 1579, y'all. That's not a 1 right there. Look how it's disproportionate. That's not a 1. That's an I. That's an I. It means in the year of 579. This is the year. This book is from 579. That's not a 1 right there. It's too disproportionate. I wish I could zoom in on it. I will show you. This is not a fucking 1. This is the year 579. Look at that, man. We just caught him with 1. Caught him. We got 1.
And you could see this massive wooden door under this arch. Now, from what we learned, there's a massive amount of old world furniture in this building. Now, they say that every one of these doors were designed.
That's proof they added 1,000 years to your history. Because they saying in the 1500s, but it's really the 500s. They going to say 1579, but it's really 579. They just added 1,000 years to your history. That's why we've been telling you all the history you know from Jesus Christ to fucking now. All of the history you know has been recorded after the 1500s. You don't have no history, no documentation, no records of anything before the 1500s. Jesus died in 1580, man. Actually, it would be 580 according to real history. According to today's history, the way they line it up, it would be 1580. But we'll get into that on another note. I'll show y'all that Pompeii is fake. I'm going to show y'all that the timeline is off. All that.
Designed to have these specific folded carvings that you can see basically in every room of the house. Okay, so we took a quick break, went to the Leonardo exhibit, which was pretty cool. They had some weird inventions, but it wasn't really our main focus or anything, but it was kind of interesting that this was showing at the same time. Okay, so we prepared for a tour, and basically we just came and they gave us some audio phones and we were ready to go. So to speed this up, basically the tour we went on was the guests of the Biltmores, and don't get me wrong, we loved the entire experience, but it just wasn't what we came to do. It was more focused on like the guests after the 1900s.
Man, listen, let me explain this story to y'all. Jesus got killed during the same time Montezuma and Tupac Amaru lived and died. Jesus would have been getting sacrificed while Montezuma would have been living and running California in that area. That's what I'm just giving you a perspective. You see what I'm saying?
Hundreds, and the people who'd stayed there, and all these renovated rooms that to me looked like they were from the 60s, but we weren't allowed to take any photos of this tour, which, trust me, we got photos, but we just weren't allowed to on this guided tour. But we did go on the top of the building, which was cool, so we did get some more up-close shots of all this detail, and a pretty cool view. But yeah, we couldn't really explore on the guided tour, but afterwards, we had the opportunity to go on the self-guided one, which was really awesome. We walked around, and I'm about to break down what I learned. Okay, so this place is massive. First, you have the garden area, which is super nice, with also this interesting mosaic on the floor. I didn't mention, but basically in order to start the guided...
Now, you know who also had mosaic, marble, and checkered floors inside of their house, right? Montezuma. We're going to get into the story of Montezuma and the castle of Montezuma, which is where you get the masonry from. See, when they found these old castles that Montezuma lived in the 1500s, they started copying some of the imagery, some of the symbolism. And one of the main symbolisms is the checkerboard floors that you see often in a masonry hall or in some masonry photos and imagery, because that's a direct stealing of imagery and signal and signs from Montezuma. Montezuma had checkerboard floors made of marble. Facts.
The tour, they basically gave each person like a card, and this would be someone who stayed at the house. Now, everyone really just got a basic guess, but for some reason, I was given Carl Bitter. Now, when this happened, me and Moon looked at each other at the same moment and we were like, no way, because I'm not sure you guys know. I mean, I have said that I've done 3D art, but I started off doing sculpting, clay, and pottery, so I'm pretty much a sculptor in my spirit, and it seems that the tour guide either knew or for some reason that card was given to me, but I can tell you right now, that was not a coincidence. Karl Bitter is an Austrian sculptor similar to these architects who is credited with a massive amount of sculpting that seems to be another attribution process. But it doesn't mean he wasn't a sculptor.
From Tripoli to the halls of Montezuma. What you thinking about they talking about? What you mean? What do you think they talking about when they say to the halls of Montezuma? Nigga, they talking about his hallways, nigga, marble floors, nigga, big ass walls, tall ceilings, nigga, immaculate house, nigga.
Sculptor. You don't think these wealthy elite need the most talented sculptors and artists in the world? Well, come to find out, Karl Bitter is just another royal family upbringing. He was trained for this in Vienna. Okay, so where do we start? There's this part of the trip where you go into the biggest room and we get to take photos up close to really look at this. Now, look at the size of this fireplace. Look at this Roman Greco relief that is placed here, and is that a symbol? Right on the massive fireplace is a coat of arms. When I asked the guide, hey, is that a knight's helmet? And he said, I never really thought about that. Yes, that's what it looks like, but don't quote me or take my word. That's what he said, and he's in the building every day. Let me show you. There's no question on what that symbol is. What is it doing in this banquet hall or opera? As, yeah, there's also a massive organ in this room.
Hold on, we gotta go back to that symbolism. Look at that, the coat of arms. Look, the same shit. The wing lady, the motherfucker, the crown. You see that? You see the armed guard head with the mask on, or what they call these right here. It could be looking at these right here. They look very, very similar. My man's be on some shit. Drop them fire emojis, man. Can we get a few people to support the channel? Y'all want this to go on? We at the hour marker, man. I want it to keep going on. Let's get a few people to support the channel, man. Let's get a few people to support the channel. Let's get a few people to support the channel, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. We're going to continue the live stream, man. Shout out to everybody. Drop a fire emoji if y'all enjoying the live stream. If you are enjoying the live stream, that big Aboriginal power no, man. Drop a fire emoji. Let me know that y'all enjoying the live stream. Let's continue this thing out, man.
Banquet hall or opera. As, yeah, there's also a massive organ in this room that originally had pipes, but they had installed new ones so that they could automate it and all this stuff. But so why do you have the headless knight, an organ, massive Dutch tapestries that are 400 years old? And honestly, they really do look real to me. Not to mention all the German wood. This is a very common theme. The wood is just imported from Europe, and this is just an invaluable amount of money. It's literally unlimited. What you are witnessing when you come into this building is an old world collection. That doesn't line up with the story, as we'll soon see. Look at that tapestry on the right. Another pan scene? Why does George Washington Vanderbilt want all this stuff? Are people not going to ask how the heck did they get all this? And is there some type of Dutch brotherhood or even more ancient family behind all this? Why can't we ask those questions? Here is a chest that seems to be German or Dutch old world furniture.
Now, what I'm getting out of this now, this is my theory. Now that we done summed up most of the information that we done dropped, What they're giving me is that it was a prior civilization, and that this prior civilization sent out these structures to be romanticized. I believe that he's showing you evidence of a black nobility. I believe that's who ran and occupied and built a lot of these fraternities, these coat of arms. I believe this goes back to the black nobility. I believe this goes back to the black nobility. That's just my theory. I want to keep it going. Maybe we can get A1 on her to come drop some heat with us here in just a second. Maybe we can get A1 to drop some heat for us. But yeah, there's some shit right here, man.
And these are in the finest condition. So this is the first room of the guided tour. Interesting ceramic pieces, and if you look at the andirons, those are pretty cool. You have the fireplace and even the decorative ceiling. On to the next room, you see these massive hanging fabrics. Another import along with most of this furniture, so a lot was spent on fabric here. And forgot to mention actually, on the guided tour in the guest rooms where we're not allowed to take pictures, they actually called these the Louis the 13th room, the Louis the 14th, 15th, and so on, which I just found strange, especially with the last video. I kept asking him to elaborate, but he said it's just because of the furniture style. So I don't know, but it seems really weird. So now we get into an important room, and this is the music room. This fireplace has a very interesting clue for us. We see an engraving with a clear Albert Dürer engraving, and I knew this at the time because his art style is very noticeable. But another thing that I didn't mention on the guided tour is that he kept saying that George was obsessed with prints and he had thousands of original engraving prints and that they were all over the house, some of them being of ancient castles, which was just really weird to be in his collection. And they're like all these Gothic castles, but this was his inspiration and all, so. But look at what's below the engraving. There are multiple reliefs showing an...
You know this ain't a 1. This is 528. They telling you that this building was around in 528, man. This is at the height of Aboriginal science. Montezuma is thriving. Tupac Amaru, bro. You got Cahokia getting it in. You feel me? Cahokia was at his last run at efforts, man. Come on, man. They're talking about Aboriginals, the black nobility. This is ancient shit, man. It was already government. It was already sequenced. It was already nationhood. They was already advanced when it comes to livelihood. And obviously when it comes to distributing and holding and storing information secretly. They did it within geometry. The actual building tells the story. This is a form of old languagery. You understand me? Let's go, man.
Emblem with a date. At a closer look, we can actually see that it's a J, not a 1. Whoa, wait. You're telling me that George Washington Vanderbilt had studied so much art history.
Whoa. So this is in the year 147? So this in the year 187. So this in the year 1. Come on, man. Oh, man.
Wait, you're telling me that George Washington Vanderbilt had studied so much art history and symbolism to such a degree that he was even aware of how they used to put J's instead of a 1? Why would he want to get this built in unless there's something else going on? Let's take a look at this.
Unless he didn't get it put in. Maybe these are old engravings from different people who lived there. Maybe the house was initially built in 147. Maybe some of the descendants of them people rebuilt some shit in 529, whatever the fuck we just seen on there. 529. Come on, man. The gig is up. Drop a fire emoji in the chat, man. If y'all enjoying this build, Support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen. Make sure y'all support the channel, y'all. Come on, man. The gig is up, man. Let's continue this fire ass live.
This obviously was very important to him. This is the only one of his size that's showcased in this matter. I found the image online so we could take a look at it. You know what this image is? It's called the Triumphal Arch of Maximilian. At the top, you have the Vatican fish hats.
The triumphant what? And y'all know who named Maximilian is in the community, right? Y'all know who named Maximilian? Oh, this nigga come from a long line of corrupt ass niggas, man. Oh, I think I'm getting a bigger picture now. Damn. This shit, wow. Oh, man.
The size that's showcased in this matter.
Listen, who Maximilian?
I found that image online so we could take a look at it. You know what this image is? It's called the Triumphal Arch of Maximilian. At the top, you have the Vatican fish hats and also crown, which is the symbol for the Phoenician royals. Furthermore, we see torches giving the symbol of Prometheus, as they are the ones to bring it.
Come on, man. You don't even hear no name like that. Maximilians? Come on. Come on, man.
And remember Cornelius Vanderbilt's ship?
Man, let me run that back.
Let's take a look at this engraving. This obviously was very important to him. This is the only one of his size that's showcased in this matter. I found the image online so we could take a look at it. You know what this image is? It's called the Triumphal Arch of Maximilian. At the top, you have the Vatican fish hats and also crown, which is the symbol for the Phoenician royals. Furthermore, we see torches giving the symbol of Prometheus, as they are the ones to bring it. And remember Cornelius Vanderbilt's ship? Oh, why is there more pan symbolism? One time, okay, you say that's just, allegory in a painting or just like myths or something, but tell me why there are multiple different instances of pan being referenced at the Biltmore. Then we have at the bottom of these pillars a very interesting symbol. What's that, a V shape? Remember this for later. Now, before we go on, we have to understand what this is. This is a royal family descendant tree. They're telling you what's going on. Maximilian was a Roman emperor and is letting you know everyone who was in their control. Type in Maximilian coat of arms, or even the House of Habsburg. Why is it a double-headed phoenix containing several other coat of arms?
Damn, a double-headed phoenix. Y'all know who that is, right, in the community? Y'all know who the double-headed phoenix is? Damn. What do you know about the niggas in our community? He dropping some game.
And coat of arms, or
and look who it is. Some lady sitting in the middle of the seat.
Even the House of Habsburg. Why is it a double-headed phoenix containing several other coat of arms? And that's actually what we see in this engraving. You can see the same Vatican hats here as well, so yes, they are connected. This is royal family lineage stuff, and we're just supposed to believe he put this up because he was a collector? Let's really look at this. There's so much to break down in this image alone. What do you see? The emperor in the center, Venice with the lions on each side, but also the double-headed phoenix, meaning they control both sides. To the left and right, you see all the different countries they own. These are all servicing the main emperor. They are not individual nations.
Damn, these are all the countries that he owns. Let's see if we seen some symbolism that look familiar. Trying to see if I see some. I don't really see shit. I see these two lions, or maybe some griffins or some shit that they be calling.
These are all servicing the main emperor. They are not individual nations. For some reason, we're taught that in history, yet no.
This look like the Tartarian symbol, man. This one do too. This look like the Blackamoor. face right here. It's a few little different things over here that we looking at, man. Been trying to tell y'all Rome was in America, man. All this shit happened after 1540s. Come on, man. I just want y'all to just pay attention to see if y'all see some symbolism. Let's hit play.
They still had control over these nations in the 1500s. Look at the griffins. Now, does that make sense why they're griffins in the Biltmore? Sure, you could say that George was just a fan of Albert Dürer, but that's just accepting the mainstream narrative.
Shout out to y'all in the building, man, for getting 220 in the building, in the live stream, man. Let's get a few people to support the channel too, man. While we at it, man. Don't let James Williams be the only one support the channel, man. Don't let James Williams be the only one support the channel. Let's run this back just a little bit. This shit getting deeper and deeper, man.
Hundreds. Look at the griffins. Now, does that make sense why they're griffins in the Biltmore? Sure, you could say that George was just a fan of Albert Dürer, but that's just accepting the mainstream narrative. Why? And they never tell us that he was interested in symbolism, so why is he interested in this piece specifically? If you look at all the ornamentation, it's the exact same thing that you see with the Biltmore. It's the same people, but we're told that he was just inspired, so he decided to make it a French chateau. Okay, but why is there a Roman emperor engraving implying that they own all nations and that they serve Maximilian? Why would he put that there? And
they served Maximilian. We need to figure out who the fuck this big Maximilian fella is, man. I'm very curious to understand what's going on. I don't know about y'all.
Is there a Roman emperor engraving implying that they own all nations and that they serve Maximilian? Why would he put that there? And not only that, make it his prized selection. Let's continue. Roman emperor engraving implying that they own all nations and that they serve Maximilian. Why would he put that there? And not only that, make it his prized selection. Let's continue. So there's this little porch where we chilled for a bit, and it's really pretty, but you can also see more views of the stonework in the back, and also...
And obviously it goes underground. Look at that stone.
It's really pretty, but you can...
Look at it. It goes down at a slope, and that shit keep going down. You can tell that shit just deep in the ground.
Also see more views of the stonework in the back, and also more detail work all over the pillars. The next room is the tapestry room, and there's a bunch of old world furniture here too. Look at this clock. This is pretty crazy. Also these lamps too, but they kind of had these all over the place. But I was really impressed by this German wood. I just thought it was insane, and the cost just had to be unimaginable because these are hundreds of years old. These tapestries are 300 years old, they tell us, and they show these really weird scenes, either biblical, mythical, or showing emperors. Now, I think I should mention this. There's a lot of stag symbolism. Now, I didn't capture all the instances, but in the main opera room with the organ, there was a lot of deer symbolism, or the stag, which is really weird because outside the Biltmore is a place called the Grand Bohemian. Now, if you...
The Grand Bohemian. Now, what they do with Bohemian Grove? Do all kind of little freaky shit. That's where all the world leaders go. The Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Warburgs, the Trumps, the Bidens. Everybody go there. And it be on some weird shit. Like, I seen photos of Bohemian Grove out in California, and you see females in it. And once you figure out the history that there's no females allowed there, that lets you know that them was niggas dressed up like females. There was some old white freaky men dressed up like women in photos. Boy, some of your politicians.
You remember from our little history lesson, this should trigger an alarm. Not only is it right in front of the entrance, their symbol is the red stag. The stag is also the symbol for Hennessy, which has its own coat of arms. So, in this room, we get more stag symbolism. For some reason, it seems that George was very fond of this deer symbolism, hence the name Deer Park. This tapestry with the sun.
Damn, Deer Park water owned by the same nigga. Come on, man. It's starting to make sense now. Did he just say the nigga that Hennessy? Hold on. The same nigga who stole this shit that we're talking about, who built this castle, is the nigga who owned Hennessy and who also owned Deer Park, and deers and stags was one of his favorite symbolisms. Oh man, we cracking the motherfucking code right now. Let me think about this shit for a second. Damn. That's where they got anything is possible. For
some reason, it seems that George was very fond of this deer symbolism, hence the name Deer Park. This tapestry with the sun and also the early Christian Cairo seems weird to be promoting all this elite symbolism on these tapestries in your just hunting resort. So now we get to the library, and on the guided tour, we actually went up to the top level and I got to actually look at the books, but I couldn't touch them. They had multiple books on metaphysics and just big.
Now, look, this is obviously a real photo. Now, these are the shit that they keep hidden. Now, this is the photo that obviously somebody in the 1800s added and kept in their shit and prized and put it in a frame and shit in his mansion. But look at this fucking castle, though. Come on, man. Look at this castle, then look at this little house. This looks like some shit that the primitive niggas would have built, and this some shit that they found when they came here. Come on, man. A lot of y'all niggas be drinking that Deer Park water too.
Big, thick, massive old books, and on top of that, we saw a book that had to do with the works on cannibals or something. It was weird, and we really couldn't spend that much time investigating.
Hold on, the book on cannibals? Nigga, you just ain't gonna slip that by us. Cannibals, a human cookbook, nigga?
Old books, and on top of that, we saw a book that had to do with the works on cannibals or something. It was weird, and we really couldn't spend that much time investigating, but what we do know about this room is that supposedly there are 10,000 books in this room alone. Okay? And not only that, there are 10,000 more.
And you wonder where the fuck our shit at. Huh? This book, this private owned building, that obviously that niggas do tours, got privately owned ancient old books, and at least 10,000 in this one room. And you asking me where the fuck my books at? Where all of our ancient shit at? I'll be damned. Come on, man. Drop a fire emoji in here if this shit just don't piss you off. How the hell these Scrutenbergs, honky face, get to have all of our books? Come on, man. That shit don't piss you off?
Any private collection stored in a climate-controlled room. That sounds very similar to the Vatican.
Hey, where the hell is this at? We can definitely do the tour. Who would do a tour? Who would come to do the tour right here at this building with Big Ab? Damn, that's a good idea, Shamil. Hey, that'll be a good idea, bro. I think that'll be a good ass trip, bro. I ain't did a tour yet and give some information and break some shit down, but that'll be dope. That'll be dope. Shamel, you're gonna have to hit me up on that, man. We might have to start putting that together ASAP, big bro. Damn, that's a dope idea. And I think it's in Maryland too. Come on, man. I'm down. By show of fire emojis, who all be down to go to a tour with Big Al to look at one of these old ass historic buildings so we can break down some more of this info? Yeah, we wasting all of our time in the library. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Most of the time gonna be spent in the library. Cuz did a good video on the outside. I need the berry. You see what I'm saying? Drop a fire emoji if y'all be willing to go to the tour. I just want to see how many people who will possibly be in attendance.
Vatican. And that's just books, we're told. He has thousands of prints, hundreds of maps, and all sorts of stuff that we don't get to see, and they keep stored in the back. So essentially, the most rare stuff is probably not even shown. Then on top of the ceiling is a 300-year-old painting that they say was imported from Italy and glued onto the ceiling or something. They say that the architect Hunt actually brought this before even constructing the place. Wait, so they're just purchasing ancient paintings, and for some reason they're selling these to these architects, and he knew that he wanted it before they even started building the Biltmore. Okay, so just look at this fireplace, and I believe he said it was made of black marble. And then you have these vases in the room that they said are...
You know I'm getting spy cameras. You know I'm getting spy cameras, boy. I'm gonna have a whole button down on. One of them buttons gonna be a camera, nigga. What you talking about? I'm gonna go to Spy Dog. You understand me? We ain't leaving no stone unturned. True shit. I think it's in Asheville, North Carolina. Now, the other video was in Asheville. We're going to get to that video in just a second. I do want to get to that one in just a second, too.
Are from ancient China and are 500 years old or something like that. And just basically everywhere you look, you just see this ancient old world stuff, and they're just flexing it. And on top of that, George had the chess set of Napoleon. That's what he said, but it wasn't out for display or something. So this really weird thing happened because we were in the library and we were looking around, and it was starting to get crowded. And someone said, wow, it looks like a room built for giants. And me and Moon looked at each other and we were like, okay, that's weird. But yeah, even the guests that don't even look into Tartaria, I mean, I don't know, maybe they do, but still, like, people look at this and they think this is a room for giants. So now we get to the stairs. So they tell us that they built these floating stairs just by using rope, pulleys, and horses. I don't really buy that story.
That's bullshit, because I'm a carpenter and I've actually made a couple set of floating spiral stairs before in my past doing carpenter work, and it's not easy. Especially pre-1800s, ropes and pulleys, horse and buggies, primitive tools.
And why should I? There's no evidence that they did so. I'm sitting here listening to this guy talking about how it was in perfect balance, and it goes up almost like 4 stories. So I think we need a little bit more explanation on how they managed to make this beautifully balanced floating staircase. But no, we continue through a bunch of more things that aren't necessarily worth showing, as it kind of becomes guest rooms on the 2nd floor. But there was this weird thing where the tour guide said that they had the Ark of the Covenant. And then he's like, just kidding. But they had this replica of the Ark of the Covenant. And I'm over here thinking, like, wait, why? Why do they have this? And it has lion feet on it. It has all these ancient symbols, and I'm just like, okay, they had to know about ancient tech or something. So to continue, before coming to the Biltmore, I was told by many that there are actually several underground tunnels there in multiple areas. There's this underground tunnel all the way at the winery, which is miles away. This entire Biltmore features the largest basement in the United
That bitch got a tunnel that leads to a motherfucking winery, which we know it wasn't a winery at its original state, much like this wasn't whatever the fuck they using it for at its original state. This was an interconnecting business, maybe even some type of ancient tech, man. Miles away, you can just walk under. Come on, man. The gig is up. The gig is up, man.
States, and both buildings feature tunnels that connect to each other's below ground level. It's built completely on hilly landscape, and from what I was told, don't take my word on this, supposedly there's a tunnel that goes behind the Biltmore into an underground dumps. I was told this by many different people, and also with the news report we showed earlier, they were mentioning that there was tunnels that went to the Biltmore. So, I mean, how else would it be advantageous to hide from prohibition laws if it was just like it limited to your estate? So, I mean, these people were trillionaires. I don't think they had any reason to hide from the prohibition. These must have been tunnels that have been there for a long time. They weren't afraid of the law. They were the ones who put them in motion. They were married to the state legislators, the media. This is the oil oligarchy. The royal family with ancient origins. They don't care about no prohibition. This is not why the tunnels were built. The reason is, these are actually the lower levels of the building that did not go through the same renovation of the upper portions.
Now look at this brick style. It obviously didn't go through no renovation. Stayed exactly the same as it was whenever they found this building. Come on, man. This underground construction would have took and listen, they said they built all these buildings like this, underground and all, within 20 years. Within 20 years in North Carolina. They built all this shit in 20 years, thousands of buildings, underground, leading into other grounds, underworking tunnels, marvelous architectures, hidden rooms and shit. Come on, man, that's a goddamn lie. Look at this. Whoever built this structure, this is exactly how they left this shit. Nigga. Old concrete, brick walls, nigga. The right amount of lighting. You know what I'm saying? Double locking metal doors. Come on, man. The gig is up.
After coming back down the stairs, you actually can go to the basement. We weren't really sure about this. So, you walk down this creepy underground tunnel, kind of strange feeling. And guys, I'm not going over any of that stuff, but I mean, it kind of ties in here. But you guys know that no really reason to cover it. But yeah, this leads to the bowling alley and the underground pool. Now, here you can go and walk right beneath the building, but it seems very strange to me that there's no explanation on the creation of the basement. Or if it even goes further down, how do we know? We know that they built secret passages all around the house, so they were secretive. How do we know that what they are telling us is the truth? So, you know where these tunnels lead to? After you finish the tour and you're underneath the building, which deserves to have some honest questions. Instead, you're led to the programming room, which is kind of creepy because it's painted very weirdly, and I have no idea why it was this way in comparison to the rest of the house, or why no idea why it was this way in comparison to the painted very weirdly, and I have no
shit is creepy looking. But what's funny about me is it's a pipe going over it, and then if you notice the split them, that's a real pipe, obviously painted on the wall. That's painting on the wall, and they got the pipe and plumbing going across it. But look at this building in the background. Marvelous architecture that you see in the background. Crazy to me.
No idea why it was this way in comparison to the rest of the house, or why they had the photos down here, but This is where they begin to program you with the narrative that they want you to believe. Do you really think that's all there is to this story? That what they tell us is the only story that we need to know? Well, if that's good for you, then there you go. That's theory number one. Because the truth is, none of us truly know the answer. The first option is that they're not lying. Everything they tell us is the truth. They really did build America. There's nothing really fishy about them, and they just worked their way from poor to rich. That's the theory, which you already knew, so I'm not sure why you watched this entire video for me to just tell you that. When you go there, they're gonna have explanations. The people who walk into the bookstore are people who are curious on the origins. And so they have these books approved and ready to go for you to learn all this information, all of which was not convincing to me. This main group, the anti-Tartarians, which seem to really enjoy this first option, don't seem to be aware of what they're even saying or promoting. They think that we should just all walk into gift shops, take these books, and then just accept whatever they tell stages are all the proof they need. Well, it's not enough for me. Not only is it not enough, I don't really trust a word they say. I don't see why we should trust any of them. I feel like I've been fair, addressed the counter argument. Is it not possible that these are staged events? That this could have been orchestrated or planned? Not saying that they are fakes, because taking two photos of different places and combining the negatives actually creates a physical, real photograph, so that it's not really a fake and physical, real photographs. And
This nigga got some shit photoshopped in the 1800s, y'all. That's amazing. Like, I'm looking at this shit like, damn. This shit, I mean, I know it's a weak ass Photoshop, but this is a Photoshop picture in the 1800s. This nigga done overlaid compositories and pre-exposed films together. This shit, wow.
Combining the negatives actually creates a physical, real photograph, so that it's not really a fake and future generations wouldn't be able to tell. Again, I'm not saying this was done. No one knows. We only know what they left us with. But we'll make this clear. In 90% of the case, this is the mainstream argument and the only point of those who object to this building having anything to do with Tartaria. Here it is. There's construction photos. That's the only point. But are you guys being fair? Are you covering the true history of the robber barons? Why should we trust them? Literally, the elite were hanging out with them, royalty in Europe. Well, I don't see why we should trust them, and so here's option 2. It's a lie. Yeah, they're just lying straight through their teeth. Go through the biographies, as we just did, and really tell me that nothing is up for question. What about the Dutch connection? Is there a Venetian connection? A Phoenician connection? Remember that V we were looking at earlier in the Biltmore? They said that this stood for the Vanderbilts, right? Now, explain when you look up Dutch East India Company, and you have to type in East, but remember, East and West are the exact same thing, okay? But this is their emblem. Look at this. It's a V, okay? And you know what the V stands for? The V stands for United. But not only that, remember all the stag symbolism? Look at the coat of arms I found. You don't think there's a connection? Why do they all have the same royal coat of arms? Remember that headless knight? Look at it here. And we know that the Vanderbilts built America, made steamboat travel popular, and connected all the railroads. And we know that the Vanderbilts have Dutch origins in New Netherlands, which used to be Old New York area, but it's actually underplayed and was far greater. It was the foundation of the United States. The Dutch East India Company were the true founders of the Corporation of the United States. This is why we don't learn too much about them. They are the real Vanderbilts, a royal-founded corporation under the law and power of the throne of the Vatican, which was really controlled by the Phoenician Venetians. We're talking bloodlines that go back to early 1400s. The people responsible for all this are post-reset. Now, I don't find the explanation of George accumulating all this art and collections of valuables from around the world to be convincing at all, as it makes more sense to attribute this to the Dutch East India Company, who had been sailing around the world for hundreds of years and had trillions of dollars. They were the first global corporation. That makes sense that they had all these items and then used them to decorate the vast majority of these abandoned old world mansions with. Now we're going to go over two theories. The first will be for people who kind of believe the mainstream narrative, but they're willing to accept that there's something up, and so they'll step into the shallow end, right? Okay, so you see the connections with all that I've said.
This is the black nobility. We know who started this shit. 1602, the Dutch East Indian Company, which was started by the black nobility. If you ever heard of the Black Pope, this is where a lot of the artists come from when we're dealing with Manifest Destiny, the Popol Vuh, and all this other information that comes with colonizing and constructing and rewriting the history of Americas. That's in your Manifest Destiny.
I think the next best explanation is that, okay, let's say that they constructed this, but the age and methods used are up for question. Remember, because their whole brand is that the Vanderbilts achieved the American dream. They started as poor Dutch farmers.
Man, that's the bullshit story that they failed that they give it to you. Man, we got 246 people in here. We ain't had one person support the channel yet. Can we get one person to support the channel? Can we get one person to support the channel? You understand?
And just work their way up from immigrants to becoming the wealthiest families in America. That is crucial for their story. So let's say that's not true, and that actually the Dutch Moravian Brotherhood of Royalty is involved and they kept this under wraps. They had special old world tech from a past civilization, or they were keeping their progression in secret. For example, with the steamboat, they had this technology for a long time and slowly just released it out to the public. But in this case, they did so under the guise of capitalism. That seemed to be their main method of releasing new information to the public after the 1800s. Some random
capitalists, yeah, that got rich and started controlling and taking over the infrastructure. They get the bright idea to go to South Carolina in the mid 1800s to start constructing thousands of concrete and marble and metal buildings in within less than 20 years. That doesn't make any sense once you put the whole story together. We got 249 people in here, man. Let's try to get let's just try to get 300 people in this live stream. In order to do that, man, I'm gonna need everybody to share the live stream at least once, man. We can make it happen. At least share the live stream one time on any social media platform of your choice. And let's get 300 people in here before the 2-hour marker, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building.
For example, with the steamboat, they had this technology for a long time and slowly just released it out to the public. But in this case, they did so under the guise of capitalism. That seemed to be their main method of releasing new information to the public after the 1800s. Some random capitalist would just make all this progress out of nowhere. That way the state can't be blamed for being involved. Nowhere on the Wikipedia page does it say that he ingrained Dutch symbolism or heraldry, and that's important to note, because all it says is that it was inspired by French Renaissance. Because everyone knows that this Gothic style with the fleur-de-lis.
See, now this is a whole nother set of history that we got to get into. The French history is really confusing because people like to misconstrue or allude to the fact that they came from Europe when we know that French wasn't always called French over there in Europe. You see what I'm saying? And when you start looking at all these European cities, capitals, states, townships, countries, they're always been in Canada. The same names of these same European countries, all the way down to French, Liverpool, Britain, London, Albion. All these particular places come from the Americas, man. They come from the Americas. Let me shout out a few people that supported the channel, man. Shout out to some of the brothers and sisters out there that supported the channel, man. I'm gonna let y'all hit the backwood real quick. Boom. I'll let y'all hit that. All right, man. Shout out to my boy Khalil Finch. He said, for a nigga always got that fire on deck. Keep it coming. You already know, gangster. We're gonna keep the fire information coming, man. I'm glad y'all really enjoy it. This is another one down, man. We're gonna keep it rocking though. We're gonna keep it going. Got a little bit more to go. You understand? Shout out to Libra Son supporting the $2 challenge. Shout out to my big brother Libra Son, man. It's always love. Shout out to my brother Libra Son. I appreciate all the support, man. Shout out to my brother Libra Son. And shout out to William Wilson. Shout out to William Wilson supporting the the $2 cash out. Shout out to my brother William Wilson, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Make sure y'all show my brother William Wilson some love in the chat, man. Make sure y'all show him some love in the chat. Let's continue.
Typically associated with the French, but as I've shown you in the first chapter, it goes much deeper than that. So, they had other building techniques that they do not tell us about, meaning, no, they weren't using pulleys and just a few men. This was an industry. There's no way they were just whipping these mansions out of nowhere in the 1870s, and again, I really don't see where the love and passion for this architecture came from. They all came from ignorant farmers with no interest in education. That's what we're told. They could have had some steam crane technology or machinery that we don't know about, and they just don't want us to know about because that would imply they had tech we don't. And that also, this was not the ventures of a man wanting a country home, that this was some type of corporate operation. Now, that may be interesting to people as there's an indication that this was built on top of an older structure. So even then, I don't think they built all of it, especially if we consider underground cities as with Asheville and subterranean networks. We also know that the Dutch hired explorers to go find new ventures. So they would look for abandoned and ruined old world structures for them to go on these huge renovation projects. Which, we get to the final theory, which is my thoughts. I think they're liars. After comparing and contrasting, I mean,
it's obvious that they lied. Let's run that a little bit back. That makes sense. Look at this dome, though. But let's listen to what he just said.
Building techniques that they do not tell us about. Meaning, no, they weren't using pulleys and just a few men. This was an industry. There's no way they were just whipping these mansions out of nowhere in the 1870s. And again, I really don't see where the love and passion for this architecture came from. They all came from ignorant farmers with no interest in education. That's what we're told. They could have had some steam crane technology or machinery that we don't know about, and they just don't want us to know about because that would imply they had tech we don't. And that also, this was not the ventures of a man wanting a country home, that this was some type of corporate operation. Now, that may be interesting to people as there's an indication that this was built on top of an older structure. So even then, I don't think they built all of it, especially if we consider underground cities as with Asheville and subterranean networks. We also know that the Dutch hired explorers to go find new ventures. So they would look for abandoned and ruined old world structures for them to go on these huge renovation projects. Which, we get to the final theory, which is my thoughts. I think they're liars. After comparing and contrasting, I don't think they considered that people would be able to see their fingerprints. I think the story of the robber barons is BS. I think the story involving the Dutch East India Company is highly exaggerated. Why should we believe them? If they're the ones behind all this, I got some serious questions, which is, why is this not known about? Well, it's because there was a reset, most likely within the last 500 years, in which an old world civilization went through multiple periods of systematic cataclysm to the point of it being possibly a contrived event. These cataclysms caused earthquakes, floods, mudslides, and even comets that would be a sign of these dark times. The power of the old world was shifted into the Jesuits, who were in control of Rome, and the Vatican slowly moving their power across Europe and making their domination known. Their powerhouse became Venice as they began to rediscover many of the lost arts and sciences of the past age. They needed to begin disseminating this information to the public, but they needed to put their initials on it, because there couldn't be any knowledge of the old world. This was the book burnings. They erased the past and decided the world would be created anew, the new world, the new Atlantis. And so, Venice expanded into multiple powerhouses and brotherhoods throughout all of Europe, forming their own cults to please their master, which really goes back to the Canaanites, Baal. This is their true god, as these people were inversionist. They began giving titles to the bloodline families that had been created through intermingling, and these people were
Look, and they'll say they constructed this whole goddamn structure. They'll say they built that shit. I'm telling you a lie.
complete idiots. These are the people who began getting all the palaces and chateaux in Europe, right? And they would just shit all over them and act a fool like Marquis de Sade. They were totally fine with it because they were dark occultists. They had no intention on lifting humanity, but they wanted to enslave them. Look at the first global corporation, started in America. They are the Dutch. The Vanderbilts are Dutch. We aren't going to ask any questions. How easy would it be to just make up all these figures? And remember, they have the burden of proof. All I have to say is I'm not convinced, and rightfully so, as there are barely any details on these people. And as when it comes to the Commodore, he even refused to speak in public. How do we truly know these people existed? Letters, pictures, okay, all of that can be fabricated by maniac trillionaires with a mission to control.
Cornelius Vanderbilt, the railroad tycoon.
Dutch, and they became English. They still kept their Dutch connections, but they'd never really tell you that in the documentaries. They don't want you to know that these people were a part of a club, the New York Club of Wealthy American
Appreciate that
Aristocrats,
chick Harmony Roots. Appreciate
which,
you.
out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, decide to create architecture that hasn't been created in hundreds of years, and really no other nation is doing anything like this in the same amount of time. As I said with Fifth Avenue, I don't believe that story at all. And these were done in almost a decade, and then demolished. And then the same thing with the
put together in less than 2 decades and demolished less than 60 to 80 years later. Don't it make sense? Don't make sense. That don't make no sense at all. That's why I say, fuck what you think, man. Critical think, man. Critical think. Once you critical think, you catch the fucking lie. You see what I'm saying? And Cornelius do sound like some nigga shit.
The World Fair, all of us in 3 years? Or we just accept the official history of Asheville and not wonder how they built all these subterranean networks that connected the city? How did they build all these buildings in such a short time period? Something isn't adding up. I believe Bill.
Damn, that's a hell of a. Oh my God. Do you see this motherfucking? Do y'all see this fucking structure right here? Like, damn, this bitch huge. This bitch go all the way out to here. That's some amazing shit right there, man. That's some amazing shit right there. What's going on, A1? It's all good, but bro, I'm still live right now. Shit, I'm rocking out for a little minute, man. Just tap in when you can if I'm still live, you know what I mean? Yeah, we rocking out. Everybody say hey to A1, y'all. A1 on the phone. Everybody say hey to A1. All right, A1, just tap in. I sent you the link, fool.
Something isn't adding up. I believe the Biltmore to be an old world Tartarian mansion. I don't think those Phoenician hijackers can build with sacred symmetry at all. They aren't creative. They're copycatters. They're parasites. If they had tech then, why are there no buildings like this being constructed today? Okay, sure, maybe they had steam engines. I still don't really think they could do this, and I don't see the evidence for it. After going to the library and thoroughly researching the Vanderbilts, I'm not really convinced. There's a lot of red flags, and after reading the stories, I can't even really show you guys everything. There's just so much to cover. For example, with the story of the Titanic, JP Morgan, and how...
See, y'all know y'all been wanting that drop right there, huh? That JP Morgan, the Titanic. That's a heavyweight jam, man, because I did the research on it, man. That was just some shit I was just doing on my own. I was like, oh my God, when they kept getting in, I'm like, yo, this shit is heavy. You understand me? Especially, and I'm right here by, like I said, JP Morgan Company and the DuPonts right now got an experimental station right now in Delaware. Right down, not too far from where I be in Delaware. I'm telling y'all. There's ancient structures like towers, like you just seen in these photos, some Tartarian looking ass shit on the land that they got the experimental station in. It's a big ass government facility, miles and miles and miles of buildings. Look like something, I'm telling you. Swear to God. Like I'm down there willing to sneak in that motherfucker. You understand me? I'm down there willing to sneak in that motherfucker just to go get some real shit. Somebody said I'm close to Delaware. Where you at with it? Shout out to Gerald Wilson for the cash out donation. He said, thank you, sir. No, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Honestly. You understand me? Honestly, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for coming in, supporting the channel, enjoying the information. Hopefully you're spreading it and implementing it to friends and family as well. Shout out to you, brother Gerald. Shout out to DeAndre Merriweather. Shout out to DeAndre Merriweather for supporting the $2 channel. He said, for all love. You already know, man. It's all love, man. It's all love. Hey, for those that's close to Delaware, we're gonna be doing a pop-up meet and greet at an Aboriginal restaurant right off the Delaware River. I'm probably be doing a small lecture. So man, make sure y'all pop up, man. I want us to get all y'all tri-state brothers and sisters out of there. You know what I'm saying, in the area. Shout out to DeAndre and brother Gerald for supporting the channel once again. Shout out to you, brothers. Let's go.
Example with the story of the Titanic, JP Morgan, and how Vanderbilt's trip. I can't really show you guys everything. There's just so much to cover. For example, with the story of the Titanic, JP Morgan, and how Vanderbilt's trip were canceled as if they may have known that something was going to happen. People are willing to accept that they did the whole Titanic thing on purpose for the insurance or whatever, but you know that means they lied, right? These people are scummy business people. Why should we believe the biographers? Why should we believe the media and not think it has anything to do with propaganda? Then people know all about the bloodlines, right? Freemason bloodlines, and this actually connects with the coat of arms again, but people...
That's what I'm saying. That's the black nobility. The original photo of this guy right here is a black man. Y'all just don't never see it. This is some black nobility shit, man. You ain't even understand it.
Why should we believe the media and not think it has anything to do with propaganda? Then people know all about the bloodlines, right? Freemason bloodlines, and this actually connects with the coat of arms again, but people are willing to accept that. But what I'm saying is too far.
Shout out to my nigga Bright Mo Deezy for supporting the $2 challenge, man. He said keep the bills going, bro. Shout out to my nigga Bright Mo Deezy, man, for supporting the channel, man. Make sure y'all support. Make sure y'all show some love to my brother DeAndre, brother Gilbert, or oh fuck. Let me go back and look at this name one time. I'll be fucking up sometimes. Shout out to my nigga Gerald, my bad. Brother Gerald, DeAndre, and brother Brightmo Deezy. Make sure y'all show some love to them brothers in the chat, man, for supporting the channel. We appreciate all the support, man. Hey, we deep in here low key, man. Shout out to all the American Aborigines, man. Let's try to get 300 people in here. Y'all heard A1 about to come through, so go ahead and share the live. Let's get it cracking. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Let's continue.
What I think is that these people are defacers. They are renovators, not builders. So yeah, it required sculptors, and yes, I do think they had talented artists. I know we had the video on ancient petrification, but that doesn't mean there weren't extremely talented artists at this time. And I do think they sculpted the fake facades, as this was a part of turning the old world Tartarian buildings into a more modern look. Otherwise, it would be blatantly obvious how old this thing was.
This right here is obviously evidence of two different technological civilizations side by side right here. You see the people on the horse and buggies and the wagon and the little, you know, they got what they got going on. But then you got this marvelous feat right here. Obviously not done by these people, not constructed, created, nor engineered by these people. This is the best evidence that you can see two different technological civilizations in one photo. This technological people, horse and buggy, and these people with ponds and great magnificent structures. You see what I'm saying? Amazing.
You know, there was this overall darkness because I kind of realized that ancient art and architecture was being used to continually facilitate these families' ever expanding growth and wealth. Don't get me wrong, I was in awe when I saw it, but there was a feeling that something wasn't right. The ability to continually profit off of this is insane, and I can't even imagine how much the Biltmore makes in a day. But overall, I do want to say I highly recommend going to the Biltmore. This isn't a promotion or anything, but my review is I enjoyed it, we both enjoyed it, everyone should go. They were really nice people, everybody, so please don't go there causing any type of trouble or anything. Many of these workers, they really just don't know. And I believe even the surviving Vanderbilts, they don't know either. At this point, everything is up for question. But the guy told me that the current Vanderbilt owners were just like normal people who came in wearing normal clothing to blend in.
I think this is in Nashville. Is that the Vanderbilt estate? Home. I think that's in Vanderbilt. I'm not for sure, but we're gonna have to.
The current Vanderbilt owners were just like
that's a tour we're gonna have to take, y'all. I'm down to take this tour. I'm down. We need to do a build on the ancient machinery next. Well, listen, Khalil Finch. That's what the pay-per-view is going to be about. Me and A1 got the pay-per-view coming up. It will be $20 admission. It's this Sunday coming, next Sunday coming up. It's called American Gods. Me and A1 is putting together a lot of powerful information dealing and leading up to an overall picture, getting to the ancient to show who really architect and designed these structures, going back thousands of years ago, using all the latest updated research that we can find, dealing with all the experts. We're gonna get into a lot of information, man. So make sure y'all tune in, man. So hopefully we can get all y'all to support the pay-per-view, man. It's called American Gods. It's going to be dope. It's going to be one of the ones. It's going to be one of the classics. We're going to show people how to put on a real pay-per-view. You see what I'm saying? Because we ain't the imitators, we the innovators. Shout out to Chief Holiday for laying down the blueprint to this shit, man. Shout out to my brother Chief Holiday, man. Let's continue this what my brother was saying in this.
The surviving Vanderbilts, they don't know either. At this point, everything is up for question. But the guy told me that the current Vanderbilt owners were just like normal people who came in wearing normal clothing to blend in, which I kind of think may have some truth to it. Because like many of these elites that get these remaining architectures most likely don't know what's going on either. They were just transported here and given their own narratives. And same goes for the modern Freemasons and politicians. They don't know the full history or narrative. there's levels to this, there's historical programming, and this just happens from the day we're born. The Biltmore is literally a collection of old world art, and like I said, I believe it to be an old world Tartarian structure. So tell me, what do you think? Do you believe the mainstream narrative? Is there a connection to the...
And listen, we it doesn't matter the terms that they try to give you. That doesn't even matter. That's really obsolete at this particular point. The main fact is we know exactly who built these. We know how they built these. We know when they built these. You see what I'm saying? So we got to really start stating the true fact, man, showing you what the history books is now saying, now what mainstream scientists is saying, maybe even rogue scientists, which has just as big of a community as the uniformitarians community of the science realm. So yeah, man, we're here to get into this and really give you the truth, man. We're here to try to crack the codes and to get into all the powerful shit, all the hidden shit that they got. I got a little more video for you guys, man. We ain't done. We're gonna keep it going. Let's go.
I don't know. Man-made, maybe.
Very straight break. Maybe something heavy fell here at some point. Again, a lot of the angles, the right angles. Of course, these could be some of the bricks. But there's a lot of right angles on the stones nearby as well. So, a lot of interesting stuff in this particular area.
All right, so we went down the trail a little bit. The bridge is somewhere around there, but we were kind of going deep into the woods and we saw this. And as I was pointing out, a lot of the, natural boulders and rocks look a little not natural. But if you come to around here, there's another. So these are all over the place. Let's see if I can get a better look. So yeah, this trail goes all the way back to that bridge back there. And there's still boulders. These are, let's see what's under here. Oh, wow. Actually, it's crazy. Which also brings questions on why would they want to hide this? Well, just imagine that this could have belonged to a civilization that they don't really teach about in the history books. They had many cities on the east coast of America, and this civilization was here before the supposed founding of the New World by Columbus. Now, in mainstream history, this land was originally owned by the Cherokee. As I mentioned in the Paris Mountain video, there's legends that speak of giants existing in these lands with advanced knowledge. Also, the Choctaw people have legends of a race of giants that once inhabited Tennessee and who were of a wonderful stature. According to Horatio Bardwell Cushman, in his 1899 book, History of the Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Natchez Indians, he says that Nahulo came to be used to describe all white people, but it originally referred specifically to a giant white race with whom the Choctaw came into contact with when they first crossed the Mississippi River. The Nahulu were also said to be cannibals whom the Choctaw killed whenever the opportunity arose. We've spoken about this in other videos, especially Tartary Part 3 with the balding giants, so go check that one out. But it's also interesting that there are many castles in this area that each have their own backstory, but when we consider this concept that there were castles and perhaps an advanced civilization of humans in ancient times in these parts, the history tells us that they were cannibals, but perhaps there's two sides to this story. One being an advanced civilization that got hit by some cataclysm or for some reason went savage, and these new reset beings that experienced them began the pursuit of trying to destroy them, similar to Attack on Titan. These beings left behind many of their structures, and we found them and repurposed them, and that's what our downtowns are. And other remains of these old world architectures are deep in the wilderness and have become integrated with the landscape, becoming mountains and hilly landscapes. Many of these structures were purposely destroyed for covering up or using as resources to build other structures in the area. There are many parts of the terrain near here that had clear signs of being man-made, Similar to Paris Mountain, most of the soil and trees are on top of these massive boulders, some with openings and others with clear right angles. There's also this cool boulder with a hole in it. Maybe it's newer, but still indication that these boulders were being used in construction and they're all scattered about, meaning what if this terrain is on top of these massive boulders or old world structures? Where did they quarry all this and how did they bring it to such a faraway location? Okay, so let's just take a look at all the anomalies. The bridge does not look like a bridge, and as we brought up with the rise of the river, it's too narrow as an opening. It's basically in the middle of nowhere. What is the bridge connecting? There's no infrastructure, no city. Why would they go through the effort of such a construction? There are no old pictures of its original state. The top is filled with uneven and destroyed stones that show clearly that something else used to be connected, yet there are no pictures or depictions of what this bridge or structure once looked like. It's Gothic and quite European, looking very similar to the stones used in Paris Mountain. Different sized stones than anything really from this era. It's buried into the ground similar to the dam in Paris Mountain. It's integrated into nature in such a way that it doesn't seem that it was actually constructed in this manner. It was found. Poinsett Bridge and Paris Mountain are both known to be haunted. Many who have come to Poinsett Bridge experience paranormal activity, ghosts, and hear strange noises. Quote, several locals say they have been unable to start their cars when they get ready to leave. A light is said to move toward them while they sit in their cars. They hear a loud scream when the light gets close. Screams and lights seem to be common experiences around here. Quote, I have heard voices coming from this area of the arch, screaming around the top of the bridge, and I have seen red, white, and green lighted dots floating on the mountainside, similar to a lantern. Screams are often heard at night, which some attribute to the way it was built, allowing air to pass through and producing odd noises. Now, I find that interesting that it allowed air to pass through as other old world devices that were used for harnessing free energy. Possibly this explains why this area is so metaphysically charged. Is it because there's something resonating from the structure, or maybe from underneath it?
That's a good question. That's actually a good question, man. We gotta ask ourselves: Did these old world structures build their structures on kinetic and metaphysic energy, or what we call vibrational frequencies? That's a question we have to propose, man. That's a good question.
Quote, people have reported lights coming towards them. Some say like lanterns or orbs, or lights of various colors. A large white figure has been seen by several visitors. There's also an Indian burial mound nearby, and interesting other stories that account for spooky activity tell of a mason who died during the building of the bridge, with his body forever trapped inside.
You're the guy with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect.
Nigga, we ain't letting this little commercial slide. We ain't letting it slide.
And interesting other stories that account for spooky activity tell of a mason who died during the building of the bridge, with his body forever trapped inside.
He says the stone bridge in northern Greenville County is known for its Gothic arch, and there are reports that its unique details continue to impress the people who built it 2 centuries later.
There's mention that there were 2 former workers that enjoyed their work so much that they come back and visit the bridge at nighttime.
According to this survey from 2004, those visitors are 2 Irish masons named Danny and Denny. But Shanna says not all of the people who worked on this bridge survived to see its completion.
Interesting that it was made by Irish masons. And as I mentioned, it looks very similar to the dam on Paris Mountain in terms of the stones used and the surrounding terrain. That tower also looks like a round tower, and they claim that it was built by a water company. We're just given a history, and the experts just take it as fact. They never really question the education system's textbooks. The reason to hide these structures is that it would destroy the mainstream history that we're given. The leaders or founders of these cities decided to hide.
Hey, I'm gonna have to switch up my moderators. Y'all niggas don't listen to shit. Don't block nobody. We got a no block policy over this bitch. We don't block. Period.
This race of giants and advanced civilizations before the last reset that served the foundation for many of our cities around the world. So I don't know. Tell us what you think in the comments. Do you think this is an old world structure, or do you buy into the mainstream narrative? We hope you guys enjoy this video, and there are actually a lot of things in this area that would make for some amazing content, and we wanted to do this one video but didn't really get a chance to do it. It's kind of sold out, but it's an amazing place, and we should be able to go there in a couple more weeks, but that video is going to be huge. And we also have the spiritual documentary coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But if you enjoy these videos and want to see more of us out on the field and exploring, then we really need all the help we can get. Feel free to check out the donate link in the description. Maybe check out our website. We have some cool stuff on there. And or just share your thoughts and tell your friends about the channel. Wishing everyone a happy new year, and can't wait to see what happens next year. All we can hope is that our minds may be unveiled.
Yeah. Alright, man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, highway ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hiding black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. And being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the guards of the gate, so when they say they fear God, now you know what they made.
Shout out to everybody in the motherfucking chat, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Links and information to PayPal and Cash App information is at the bottom of the screen, ticking across. Make sure y'all support the channel. Shout out to Bat Creek. Bat Creek said, fuck root words. Shout out to my brother Bat Creek for supporting the channel, man, for sending in a donation. Shout out to Bat Creek. He said, fuck root words. Now, that's one thing y'all can do. Y'all can bang in this area. I don't want to see the trouble. Scorpio 22, what's up with it? Hey, why ain't nobody hit the link? Y'all niggas scared to hit the link? I'm about to end this bitch. Oh, no, let me send it to my brother right quick. Let me send it to my brother right quick. I got to send a link to my brother. Chief Holiday. Maybe we might get Jaguar on her one of these days. I know my brother been busy coaching and shit, doing this thing. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. Man, they got the Wakanda Forever trailer. Y'all seen that new Wakanda Forever trailer? Y'all know I'm going to do a whole breakdown on the whole movie, man. The Wakanda movie, man. Y'all know I'm going to do a whole breakdown on it. It's called Wakanda Forever. You understand me? Where that Hellyway at, man? Listen, Hellyway is streaming on all social platforms. All social platforms. As a matter of fact, let me give y'all a live performance from my brother Hellyway, because he just performed not too long ago in Philly, man. It was a dope performance. Shout out to my brother Hellyway. And shout out to my brother Hami as well. Let's go to the brother Wells. Let's go to his page. Let's see what we can do. Man, I don't see nothing on here. I thought they put their live performance up. So, let me see. Yeah, they didn't put it up yet, but maybe he did later on. But yeah, Hellyway is a dope ass artist, man. Make sure y'all check him out. He's streaming on.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, been making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder, I got a feeling, deep my stomach, paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, been making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder, I got a feeling, deep my stomach, paranoid.
Yes, his music dropped on all streaming platforms. Make sure y'all go check that out, man. Type in Hellyway on YouTube, go check it out. So, man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Ain't nobody gonna hit the link. I'm waiting on Chief Holiday or goddamn A1 to hit the link. I'm gonna send the link to both of these niggas. I'm about to end this bitch in a minute. I'm trying to let it rock out. Y'all be like, oh, go longer. Nigga, shit. I'm trying to go long. I'm trying to give an open panel. If y'all want me to get an open panel, nigga, just say I don't want no open panel. We got Back Creek on this. Back Creek.
What's going on, y'all?
What up?
What's going on? Hey, was that a video from Mind Unveiled?
Yeah, that was from Mind Unveiled. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for him, bro, because I was binge watching his take on the the whole our Aboriginal information shit though, and he tried to say that the Africans are the Atlanteans and Quetzalcoatl is a white boy.
Well, he said that. Yeah, that's weird.
Nah, they're doing it on purpose and misinformation and shit. They try to make the whole Tartarian thing, because you gotta understand, these motherfuckers are the Tartarians. They are the Tartarians. Okay? And so they try to make this whole this synopsis of the structures, their structures. They're trying to Europeanize it and make it theirs when they are the monsters that destroyed the shit.
Yeah, they don't even understand, man. Like, we're gonna give y'all that vivid story of who these people really is, no matter the misnomer. That's what this pay-per-view is about. Coming up this Sunday, the Original Power, the American Guys pay-per-view. This Sunday coming up, man. Make sure y'all tap in and support, man. It's gonna be a classic. Shout out to my brother Supreme Chief Holiday on the panel. What up, Supreme Chief?
Bat. Peace to the God, man. Bat Creek. Peace, King. How y'all doing, man?
Peace, brother. Peace, brother. Hey, Miyagi, I got some shit I want to show you, bro. I work at a dispensary here in Frisco, right? And then we got a strain called Miyagi Dough with Mr. Miyagi in front of the 8th, bro. I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
I gotta get it, man. I gotta get some of that.
It's good. I'm gonna send it to you, bro.
Some of that. Ooh. It's the Miyagi. Yeah, I'm definitely working on a strand, man. Working on some stuff, man.
You have to call Daniel's son. You have to call Daniel's son.
Nah, definitely would not be named after Daniel's son. Shout out to everybody though, man. Hey, Ab, man. They don't even take off on the weekends, nothing, huh? Just every day, just heat every day, man. Hope y'all appreciate it, man.
Hey, it's like man, I gotta have it, man. I've been feeling the energy, so I'm trying to keep it up. Shout out to everybody in the chat that been enjoying the live streams, man. Make sure y'all keep hitting the like button, sharing the live stream, man. If you're new, subscribe, man. Everybody to go
Subscribe. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, man. Support the channel, man. Support the real. You already know, man. Mixcloud today, man. Summer of Love, 3 Eastern, man. So we're probably gonna, after this, go live on YouTube. Just, you know, everybody know that we over on Mixcloud on Sundays, man. Exclusively on Mixcloud, because we can play whatever music we want to play. So yeah, man. Just definitely shout out to DJ Cut, man. The best to do it. You know what I'm saying? Man, we're taking this thing to the next level. Ab, you said something that was key yesterday, though, man. Tapping into the youth. And that's what it's really about, man. Let's, you know, as far as the musical vibrations, man, just opening up our platforms, our know-how, you know what I mean? Our expertise, and to be able to share, you know what I'm saying, with brothers and sisters, and open up a platform, and, you know, be able to put people in position, man, to win. And that's what it's about. I know a lot of times people don't think that, you know, when we talk about record labels or entertainment companies, those are viable companies that employ people, brothers and sisters.
Right.
So one thing that we do over here, we are creating opportunities, great paying opportunities across America right now. This community is doing work over here. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. You guys are online all the time, but we're online.
Hey, that's very important, man.
To work.
On the ground.
Yeah.
Opportunity to gain for themselves, to sustain themselves, to work, to be able to get the chance to travel and work. Man, this is the opportunity of a lifetime for some of these young brothers and elders in the chat, man. And you provide that opportunity with the work programs that you provide around the globe, man, throughout North America. Shout out to Chief Holiday, man. Boots on the ground.
Fact. Salute to the panel. Hey, you know them pictures that you were showing earlier?
Shout out to my brother Root Words, y'all. Make sure y'all show some love to the chat. Shout out to Uriah's Divine as well for the cash out donation, supporting the $2 challenge. Shout out to Uriah's Divine. Hope I pronounce your name right. Shout out to you, man. Make sure
you know some of them houses and stuff that you were showing and everything.
Yeah,
they call that stuff like the planetarian, the Plutonian air, or the damn, I just had that other air, or the Deco air. There you go. That's Deco shit. And they say that shit was made before the 1600s. That was good shit. All them houses and stuff, they call that stuff a different. They call it like a different type of, like there's the plutonium air, the Carolinian architectural air. There's like 15 different airs of building structures, and that stuff you was born, they say predate the 1600s, and they never say how that shit was built in America. They just always say that shit was made pre-1600s. But I digress on that.
Yeah, a lot of that shit ain't, you know what I mean? And once we get into that, when we talking about pre-15, 1600, like we're gonna start getting into the real time frame, because we know that under the Gregorian calendar and the monk, the Roman monk, right, who came up with this timeline, we know that they added on 1,000 years to our history, man. You see what I'm saying? And I'm trying to tell y'all, all recorded history known to man, all written history comes after 1542. Nothing is before that. We don't have any written records of anything before it.
That's true, man. I'm glad you're showing this shit though, because they're putting a lot of so-called ideologies to bed when they saying that we wasn't a great royal people, great people over here, great people over here.
No, we was magnificent, man. We was the gods. Obviously, before the mud flood, before whatever reset we want to talk about, we want to talk about. Obviously, these evidence of these structures is all we really have to show that these people was at a peak, height. You see what I'm saying? Of their building and technologically feats and advances. niggas. You see what I'm saying at that particular time, man.
But what they won't tell you is that most of the books that are written in the 15th century that has illustrations of when they were going about, discovering the plains of the earth, is that they're all written in German. These assholes are speaking in one language.
That stupid shit up. Nothing written in
But
German.
shut up, bitch ass nigga. Shut up, asshole.
Made in the 1800s.
Shut up. So you don't know what you're talking about. You just flip flop between two centuries. You just flip flop between two centuries. You just flip flop.
One at a time.
Root words. You have no enrollment numbers. You have no enrollment numbers.
Hold on. Y'all brothers can get it in, but y'all be trying to talk over each other. I want y'all to be able to articulate yourself. Y'all both are very bright young brothers that have two different perspectives and understandings. I would like
that was my fault. I apologize.
Because a lot of people are listening. A lot of people probably will side with either side. So let's articulate yourself for the viewers' sake. You guys go ahead. I'll let Patrick go, and I'll let
keep on going about that German stuff, because I'm telling you that the German language was made in the 1850s. It's called the Great Germanic Language Shift. It's called the Great Germanic Vowel Shift. So when you put anything German before the 1850s, I told you on that Pan-African shit, boy.
No, I'm not. But how's that even Pan-African? How's that even Pan-African? But just shut the fuck up, Woodward. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up, because you got
one at a time. Ask your question and go. Y'all niggas.
What? Hold on, bro. You love having my dick in your mouth, boy. You love having my dick in my mouth. You love having my dick in your mouth. You love having my dick in your mouth, boy. You just love it, huh? You swallowing it, nigga.
Tell me about
He's swallowing my shit. He's swallowing my shit.
Sunday morning, man. This is Sunday.
Why did you say everything comes from Germany, sir?
Hey, y'all got potty mouth.
Hey, Root. You said something that made that he may not understand that it was made in 1850, so it's impossible to be in the 1500s. So can you break that down for him and as well as everybody else, brother?
Yeah, this Pan-African stuff they always be trying to throw into the Aboriginal and other different communities that's trying to prove that we from here on code. They'll always try to say, well, something was made in England. Well, something was made in France. Well, something was made in the Congo or Morocco or the country he talking about, Germany. Man, them motherfuckers wasn't even around in the 15, 16, 17.
Okay, what this idiot needs to say? What this idiot needs to understand? 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 Because no one cares what you're talking about, Root words. No one cares what you're talking about. No one cares what you're talking about.
No problem. I already explained.
Hey, let him finish, and you got it, Brad. After that,
hold on, man. Y'all gotta chill with that, man. Y'all just babbling over each other, man. Like, please articulate your responses, please, man. I don't want to have to keep telling grown men to calm down. I swear to God, y'all niggas probably older than me, man. Come on. Let's get it together, man.
I like that. That's what I like about you, young OG. I keep saying, because I'll be hating that thing I be getting out of in my emotions. But shit, I tell the truth. These niggas is Pan-African.
Root words never had a bitch in his entire life.
Pan-African Afro. These niggas is Pan-African Moors. These niggas.
What I'm saying is, I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying real quick. I won't let y'all go, but I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. I just want y'all to be peaceful. It's a lot of youth, and y'all just got to keep it toned down. That's just like for respect for the platform. Like show the platform some respect. Y'all respect the platform, right? You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, my fault.
Just making sure, man. Just show some love.
Hell yeah, I respect the platform. But I'm not gonna cut nobody off again. Just make sure everybody else do that, because I'm explaining the Pan-African that infiltrate the black community, the Pan-African that infiltrates the Moors, the Pan-African that
shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody Pan-African, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
Back Creek, go ahead. You got
the fuck?
Well, you can say something besides, potty mouth. Get to your conversation. Go ahead, rebuttal.
First of all that shit that Rootworth said, he's just mad at me because I'm younger than him. I got my enrollment numbers and I'm already in the tribe and shit. First and foremost. He ain't got no fucking money and he'll never have a bitch his entire life. Second and foremost, I ain't no fucking Pan-African. I said they were speaking German. They were speaking one language. They were based on one type of system. Okay, so I don't even know how he just mushing every words. That's what these motherfuckers do to try to make young niggas sound dumb and shit, bud. So like, I go ahead, bro, Mr. I digress. With a dick on top of your.
First he said I don't got no money. Let's start pulling out some thousands, Root. Let's pull out stacks of thousands. I ain't cut you off. Let's pull out stacks of thousands. I bet you I
You
done pulled
scamming?
out more
You
girls.
scammed that. You scammed. You scammed that. You're
Now, see,
more.
I
You
ain't gonna
scammed
cut
that.
him off. I'll let him slander me, which I'm not gonna slander
Hey,
him.
let him get it off back, Creek.
I pull out 3,000 on you. These is 3,000 bands. These is bands with thousands around them. Can you pull out $100 bill?
Look at this broke ass
Now,
nigga.
I'll
Look at
go
this
wake a
broke ass
girl
nigga.
up that look better than any bitch you got in your house.
But you ain't get no bitch with that face like that, nigga. Look like a fake ass. Look like a broke ass Scottie Pippen. You look like a broke ass Scottie Pippen, bro.
I want to ask you
You
one
look like
more
Lim
question.
Bias' son.
Now I pulled out
Hey, man,
$3,000.
can we get back to the
Pull out
bill,
nothing
John?
to show your face. You wouldn't even go
You
wake
was
this
just a broke
bitch up,
ass.
my
You were
nigga.
the saddest nigga, bro. You were the
You
saddest
wouldn't
nigga on
even go
earth.
wake this bitch up, my nigga.
You
can't show
bro, a
nothing,
nigga,
my nigga.
your dad, your grandma.
I don't even know my dad, bro.
Oh wow.
Now you getting on family because I showed that you were Pan-African, huh? I'm gonna fall back though, broke ass nigga with no bitches.
Hold on.
Broke ass nigga.
That's why we call that nigga Money Bag Roots.
Oh, I see you, Root.
Money Bag Root came through. That nigga said, I got stacks of threes. Nigga, 3 stacks, nigga, with thousands around it. That's my nigga.
Oh my god, bro.
What's going on?
Now,
Oh my god.
let's get back to the information.
Oh
Why you
my
keep
god, bro.
everything came from Germany?
You got
said
from no
first
information,
came
bro.
up
See, you
here.
mixing stuff
Here
up.
with your bitch ass and said everything come from Germany. Tell everybody why you said that, sir.
I didn't say that, bro.
Why did you bring up Germany, sir?
Why are you fixing words in my mouth?
Why did you bring up Germany? Tell the people, sir. I digress.
Why are you fixing words in my mouth? Root words. Groot.
What did you say about Germany, sir?
Explain what you was trying to say, brother Back Creek.
What I said was those Europeans, those Tartarians over there spoke one language, and it was Germany. When you look up all the things they had facts on us, and when they were discovering us, they were written in German. They had it. Okay? This is what this fucking idiot doesn't understand. All right? Because he keeps trying to wash words in my mouth and try to make me a Pan-African. No. Okay? No. He's never gonna fucking try to make me what bro, because he's speaking on his fucking self, bro.
When did they
he hates
discover
himself,
us, sir?
Huh?
When did the Germans discover us, sir?
Fucking late 18th century?
They discovered us in the late 18th century with your dumb ass.
Hey, but listen, we're gonna continue this conversation. We got my brother Matthew Douglas, aka Black Lotus, on this bitch. So maybe he can illustrate some of the language that was speaking during the times of Tartaria and ancient Tartaria, meaning Russia, the place that we see in Asia, some of the places that we see in California, and some of Alaska. Maybe he can illustrate some of the languages that was spoken throughout that particular thing. Black Lotus, you back? You with us, brother?
Yeah, man. Peace, peace, panel. See Big Baller Root Word, Back Creek giving them hell. Chief in the building. Yeah, you know, I always point everybody back.
Salute to you, Pan-African.
Oh, you goofy motherfucker. All right, so I always point back to the Seneca Dictionary for the sources. Many of those words in the German language you'll find in the Seneca Dictionary. So, you know, I've been kind of keeping it on wraps, but I'm going to start really letting all the cats out of the bag. So when you deal with that Seneca language and you deal with the Algonquin language, you're going to find out that they took words from our words here and put their dictionaries together over there in Europe. So it's complicated and easy at the same time. It's just they couldn't pronounce our words. They take the word back over there, or the person name they'll attribute it to the person's name who brought it there. So I mean, to simplify it, you'd have to remove all the words that really come from here, which would be all the fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains, and the flora and fauna when you dig into the German language. And then when you find out that many of the words they try to attribute.
When y'all want to start looking at these languages?
What up? I've been on this stuff, man. Come on, I already hit you with the Rasmus Rask when you brought up the Grimm stuff.
I keep saying, see, you don't know. I keep telling you about. See, there's laws to this. There's the Grimes law. There's the Risk law. There's the Ras brothers. There's the Great Germanic Shift. There's the Great Germanic Vowel Change that y'all know nothing about, but y'all keep talking this Germanic language. I didn't cut you off, brother. I didn't cut you off, brother.
Actually, you
I
did.
didn't cut you off, brother.
Money man word.
Nah, yeah, you did cut him off, bro.
You did cut me off.
You did. I want to teach you
Boy,
more about
he's in the building.
I talked to you about German. Y'all niggas keep pushing this German shit. The shit wasn't around till the late early 1900s, sir.
It was Algonquin.
That's what I'm saying.
So Algonquin come from Latin then. So Algonquin don't come from German.
No.
Nothing comes from German. The English language don't even come from German. You don't even know how to say the German thug. These languages are not the same. Y'all keep saying shit because y'all don't read the laws of language. You just admitted I taught you the laws of language.
Real words, calm down, big brother. It's all good. We have
this is how I talk, though. I'm not cussing him out. I mean, but just like, they be saying smart little shit to me. I'm just saying that they don't know nothing about language. They don't know the laws of language. And then he just admitted that I'm the one who showed him about the Bronze Brother.
Relax. I made a whole 28, 30-minute presentation.
Bro, I'm talking directly to you because y'all keep pushing this shit. Bro, I keep saying that all y'all that push that German shit.
Hold on, Ru. He about to respond to what you were saying. Let him respond, because I think a lot of people in the chat feel like you cutting them off. I just want to make sure that everybody's getting the same respect. I'm not gonna allow anybody to cut nobody off, so I just want to make sure that, man, we gotta be peaceful with this shit, man. Like, we gotta be smooth with it, man. This is us getting in order. If we can't have a productive conversation with some intensity into it without it coming into a hostile conversation, then we're not ready for the big leagues. We're not ready to start talking solutions on a political platform because of the bickering. They don't want to hear this. We got to sharpen up, and this is where steel sharpens steel. And I'm not here to educate you guys. I'm just here to elevate you guys. You understand me? So let's keep it going, man.
We got two guys over here pushing this Germanic language stuff, bro, and they don't know nothing about the Germanic language. That's what I'm saying. See, your dude Lotus just came on here and said that I taught him about Grimes Brothers. I taught him that shit. So how the fuck he get up here and start talking some German shit without asking the teacher? There you go. I ain't cut my brother off again, and I'm almost done. All I'm saying is y'all don't know nothing about German because y'all read it from books. I know everything about the German language because I know the laws of it and I know when it was made. So when y'all talk this German shit, y'all putting thousands of years on the stuff that's not true. I digress.
All right, you didn't teach me about Grimm's Law. I learned it from my mother and my father. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't learn that from you. I learned about Tataria. I wasn't even a teenager when I learned about Tataria. And I got
then why don't you put it on your channel ever?
So
why didn't you ever put it on your channel until me and Ab Power start talking about it?
Hey, Real words, please let them get it out. Unindoctrinated, please. Bro.
God damn, it is on my channel. Now they took down my other channel with all my other stuff on there. They took my shit down. It was on Tribe Up as well. I put all this stuff out 5-6 years ago. But my stuff breaking down the English and how they try and claim that it comes from German, I put that shit out 6 years ago. It's on my Matthew Douglas Craig channel.
Bro, you have never put no stuff out like that or the Tartarian Empire. You are a liar, Lotus. The only person that has ever put something about the Tartarian Empire is me and Aboriginal Power, bro. Stop lying.
Whoa, that's cap. That's cap.
Yeah, you full of shit, bro. You really hate now.
Hold on, Black Lotus. Hold on. I got to be real.
You fucking hate.
Lotus did put me on some Tartarian shit. Like, I really wasn't hipped on that shit.
Bro, I'll give you $1,000 Ab Power if you could show me anybody but you in the Aboriginal community showing that Tartarian shit, or y'all liars. I'll give you $1,000, my nigga. Any show, anybody ever talking about it, they go against that information. I put $1,000 up to anybody in the Aboriginal community that can show me anybody but Aboriginal Power showing our greatness. All the rest of y'all don't bring no information. None. Any one of you niggas.
Root words, I don't follow you on any type of platform.
My nigga, I got money on it. Do anybody want that bet?
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. This nigga is Soldier Boy. This nigga is Soldier Boy. Goddamn.
Y'all never, Lotus, you've never showed shit.
They took my channel down, so I mean,
Lotus, I've been on your channel every day. You've never
took down.
Y'all evil for saying that y'all talking Tartarian.
I've been talking about Inkuna,
so I got $1,000, my nigga,
for a long time,
bro. Fuck this lying shit. You are a liar. Show me one of your shows you talk about anything but the $5 wood and Lotus and that fake ass Syndica language. Show me anything. I'm not gonna let y'all might as well kick me off here because only Ab Power show this shit. The rest of you niggas come up here to stop Aboriginal power for showing how beautiful and people we was.
Ain't nobody gonna kick you off. You just being a hater,
no, I'm
man.
just saying, nigga, I got $1,000 bet on you, Lotus, since you was talking this Tartarian shit. Hey, Lotus. Show me. I'm talking to Aboriginal power. I'm talking to Aboriginal power. I will give you $1,000. I will give you 1,000, 100, or however you put it. If you could show me anytime anybody named Lotus or any of these niggas was up here talking about the that we was greater people on a higher science, showing pictures of this Tartarian shit or whatever we call it. Nobody ever did that but you, bro. Nobody. I digress.
It's called old world research, but when we talk about okay, so what platform matters though? YouTube and Instagram, bro, because these niggas have been dropping this shit, bro.
Name one, sir. Name one except for Aboriginal Power and me. Name one.
Rod Hayes.
Rod Hayes ain't never showed no Tartarian shit. There you go again. He talk about we're from the moon and the sun and Anunnaki. Once again, let's stick to the subject. Name anybody else except for Aboriginal Power, A1, me, and PMF that has ever showed this greatness. Name anybody.
Man, your name is Jealous Word.
Well, like I said,
I'm gonna say one more time. You niggas show anybody, or y'all just up here starting an argument. Y'all hating on what Aboriginal Power is doing.
I won't take your money, but I can show you a video almost a year ago where Lotus was going in on these structures. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. No
when you do that, I'll pay you some money. Okay, when you do that, you'll shut me up. But you saying these niggas been out for 5 years and showed this shit once, and they gonna say they used to do this shit? I bet you can't show one time. Just show it one time. Shut me up.
You asked for it. Okay.
I asked for it. Just shut me up.
Here we go.
Hey, I want to see this shit.
You gotta eat a whole lot of ass after that 1,000 you give up.
My nigga, y'all got over 10,000 shows. You talking about you show one show of our structures? You foul as fuck for that.
That nigga said we evil, bruh. Damn.
Your borderline is evil, but I'm so glad Aboriginal Power destroying everybody's community with this shit. Y'all can't go back and retract after this shit.
You act like we hating on the goddamn man. We saying, bro, there's niggas that did this shit, bro.
Don't take us to Africa, my nigga. Everything you do, take us to Africa.
Bro, Root Words, I've been on this show for about a year now, bro. I've never said anything about Africa, bro. You need to calm down, bro.
Y'all talk about the German shit. Nothing comes from Germany.
Bro, just calm down, bro.
I'm still waiting on the buildings, Power. I'm still waiting on the shit you show, sir.
I don't know what kind of bullshit weed you smoking in Ohio, bro.
You're the only one stepping up, my nigga.
Boom. There they go right there, dumbass.
What are they talking about? I want to hear what you say about them. I want to hear what you say about them. Why ain't Aboriginal Power bring your video up in when he was talking about this shit?
They took my channel down.
Why didn't Aboriginal Power bring your people up when he talk about this shit? Cause you don't talk this shit, nigga.
No, they took my channel down where I talked about.
Why don't Aboriginal Power bring videos up or bring you on as a guest to talk about this indigenous or ancient structures?
Because I don't own the information.
No, because the only person that has ever did it was autonomous one, me, and and Aboriginal Power. Nobody else on the YouTube history talked this shit. And Aboriginal Power still ain't showing it. Y'all coming on here trying to change the narrative of what Aboriginal Power is showing. My nigga, y'all both just came on here talking this German shit, sir. And then y'all want to cut a person off. I just asked Aboriginal Power to show me any time. Sir, I was out here with you, bro. I ain't gonna be arguing with you. Like I said, y'all trying to change the narrative of what Aboriginal Power is showing, bro. Yeah, bro. Get mad at me all you want. I know the people that talk this history shit. Autonomous one on here. He know the people. He can count them on his hands that brought this information to the people.
Bro, you just said you was the first nigga.
Never brought it, and y'all trying to change the narrative, saying this shit come from Germany.
You said you was the first nigga.
Matthew, you came on here talking that German shit, and the other nigga
I
came on
can't
here
help
talking
it. I
that
said the
German shit,
German
and I said
language
that
comes from
German shit fake.
Seneca and Algonquin.
I said they were speaking
Hey,
speaking
you
German
got some
language.
selective
See, y'all
autistic
get
here. You
mad when I
got some
talk the
money,
truth.
but
Y'all start
you
talking
need to
some
go
German shit. Now
invest
y'all
your
want to cut
money
me out and get in an
in some
argument.
mental
But
health
it's all good.
classes,
I'm gonna
man.
fall back, man. Thank you,
Go
Ad
invest
Power
your money
2.
in
I'm
some
gonna fall
mental
Root
back.
health
word, you need to
classes.
go
Quit
smoke some
talking that
weed, bro.
German shit.
I
And don't
just
none of
said
y'all
that
niggas do what
Hold
Algonquin
on
Aboriginal
just a
and
Power
second,
is.
y'all.
Seneca
Hold
is
on,
where the
hold on,
German
hold on.
language comes from.
Hold on just a second, y'all. We got Untouching this one on this motherfucker. Shout out to Big A1 in this motherfucker. Hanu.
Shout out to motherfucking Root Word, man, for holding it down, Root. What's up, Root? For holding it down. Peace and
Salute A1. Nah,
aboriginals.
thank you for holding it down. You know who you, Ad Power. Y'all be out here putting spirits out for this great empire, whatever the fuck we call it we used to have.
A1, say this name on the screen right quick for me.
Hold up. What name?
It's right here. My man Lucky's 2 sticks put in here.
What you talking about?
It's on the screen.
I can't even see it, bro. I'm
Hey,
trapped.
Real word. Say this name right here, bro.
He said worse than I say this
He
shit.
said auto
I don't
top.
I'll fuck the name up over here. I don't talk.
That's his
Hey,
way of
look.
putting autochthonous into the ether, I gather.
Hey, listen, it's all
That nigga got
motherfucking
syllables,
good.
bro.
Hey, you know what though? Hey, listen, it's all good. What we got going on here, man? I hear Root Word arguing about something, man. We got some people who are opposed to this information. What's going on?
I think it's no poll. I think these niggas just like going back and forth with each other. That's all.
Oh, okay. Nah, man, Root Word.
Yeah, Root Word mad. That's all. Yeah, you know A1. Root Word get mad because
I
I
think we all
debunked this
family, but I
Grimm's
give
Law
credit where it's
nonsense.
due. I give A1 credit.
I
I give
debunked your Grimm's Law shit,
Power
bro.
credit.
That's
I don't
the
give
credit.
no Moore's credit. None. No Moore has ever showed this information. They might talk it, but they never showed this shit. So
But you are more. You are more.
In the background going off.
Man, I see the Ducateers. Me and I see the Ducateers talked about this shit before I let him get
I ain't
interviewed by
say
Ty
talking. I
Data. What
said
the
give
fuck are you
people the
talking about?
inspiration and the light. I said give it to them. Fuck talking. I'm talking about show them the shit.
Somebody said
It makes me cry when I see it. It makes me cry like a little kid seeing that my people was great. And when Otto Thomas one was showing buildings back in the in 1960s, when all of our people had our own black cities and walking out of shit, that's the shit I love, and nobody else be showing that shit.
Words. This nigga Otto Thomas morning going in at the beginning, bro. He changed the whole narrative.
Hey,
I'm
man.
just saying, I know who I'm gonna give flowers to for this information. It ain't too many people. I can't get off one hand. That's all I'm
Can't
saying.
give them to yourself because that Grimm's Law shit is pseudo as fuck.
Nah, but
I
listen,
know I'm
hey,
a beast, my nigga.
look, can I get the
Words
floor
from a
for 1
I
second?
know I'm the beast of all beasts, my nigga, but I ain't gonna even go there, my nigga. I know
Man,
who
you
gave
lost
me
every
my
debate.
flowers
Root
without
Word.
being around you niggas, so I
I've
ain't
been
even mad
beating
at
your
you.
ass up. I've been beating your ass up for years, man. Get out of here.
Hey, fellas, can I get the floor for 1 second, please?
Yeah, you got
Hey, listen.
everybody.
Hey, look. Listen. Let me just keep it 100, right? Root Word have been representing putting this information out. He had. Root Word have been putting this information out. Him and what's the name? Brother from Chicago. Folk Nation. He was
We
putting
never
it out.
said he did. We never said he did. We said he wasn't the first nigga.
No. I mean, it ain't at this point in time arguing about who the first. Let's keep the focus on the structures. Let's not argue about who did what first. It's here. The people see it. You know what I'm saying? All that's taken away from the conversation that we having. This is real groundbreaking information right here, man. You know what I'm saying? So forget all that who did what first, man. I ain't the first one to do nothing either. I just happen to just put the information out there, man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, as long as everybody got it, everybody got an understanding of it. If anybody got any opposition to it, you know, I can definitely answer. I definitely got the answers to the questions. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's all I'm saying, man. Because don't even get Root Word started, man. You know, so now have a nice Sunday afternoon, nice and warm out here.
I see Pastor Bap in here, and y'all being disruptive in service this Sunday.
Fucking up the church's money.
Copper Grizzly. A1, could I ask you a simple question? And I think you're correct in what you said in your observation.
Yeah.
What do you think should be the approach on independent verification. Now, the problem with us, and we talked about this before, you and I, is what's been considered as authoritative sources and academia, which on the face of it appears to have authority without independent verification. You get where I'm
Authority over
going with
what,
this?
brother?
No, that's what I said, appears. But get where I'm going with this. What do you suggest is an approach we, as a specific community, gather and validate independently of what is considered, quote unquote, academic processes? And I yield.
Okay, but all right, look. You saying academic processes for our people, or are you saying just to put out there in general? I'm trying to, as far as this
Well, it's going
information.
to, in the test of time, what we've been told is history is based. Remember, I asked you this, AP, about why archaeology is important and is considered the basis of supposed higher learning and education.
Right.
That's where I'm going with it, AP. But go ahead, you got the floor.
No,
Well,
that's a good question. Go ahead.
I mean, listen, man. I ain't even, like I said, when I start Culture Freedom is 2/3 finished. I got 1/3 to finish, and that's that, right? When I do part two going into the structures. All right, part 2 going to the structures. We're gonna do like pretty much like what AP showing. But I'm gonna probably detail a little bit more and have a little bit more structures along with some history of the buildings and the creations of them. So as far as our people concerned with this information, like, you got certain Aborigines who push this type of information, right? And then you got certain Aborigines who don't believe in it, who believe that foreigners came here and did this shit, right? So as long as we are clear that we ain't allowed nobody to come here. See, let me just redirect this, right? All right. When they show you Native Americans, right? They always tell Native Americans were just standing around while they was building all this stuff, right? Do we all agree on that?
Well, let
That's
me
that
give
bullshit history right there.
let me give you an example. A1. Are you familiar with Horace Butler and When Rocks Cry Out?
Shout out to Red Pill and Blue Pill, because they put Horace Butler. They did the interview with Horace Butler back in 2008. Yeah, I got Horace Butler book. I had Horace Butler book before I had a YouTube channel. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm
let
very
me
familiar.
show you what I mean by this example. He compiled their quote unquote research.
Mm-hmm.
He footnoted bibliographically and all the other sources of where he got his information, but showed what we are keep being beat with Christianity and the so-called holy book, that everything that we're told is here. Jerusalem is in Peru. What is supposedly the Old Testament and the Bible is based in North, Central, and South America. So what I'm saying is, as an example, you can compile what they're twisting with their narrative and their propaganda and put it in a fashion that you can show side by side how they're lying and what is the truth. You get my drift?
Yes.
The only way you can do that stuff though is if you like what you just said, like if we go against their information, and then like if a person like you would say, well, Jerusalem is in Peru. But if I come up and say, Jerusalem is in Salem, Oregon, or in Salem, whatchamacallit, we'll have to go over that and build on that on points and see who come up with the most logical points and the logical thesis, and then we can go in there. But people be scared to debate. They be cocky as fuck on their information. But when you ask anybody a simple ass question, they break down and want to start fighting. So we ain't gonna really get too much when we can't go back and forth over all of our information and build on it. That's the only way to do it. I digress.
All right, so check this out, right? So check this out, right? So like the brother just, he just stated, right? So basically what I would do is, we already know that the oldest 10 commandments is in America, number one, right? We can cross-reference that with Horace Butler information, right? Plus we can cross-reference the objects that they found in the Serpent Mound in Ohio, which John Beck put that on his show. And I think that was one of the reasons why he got canceled. But he said that one of the images had proto Hebrew writing or Proto-Hebrew language, right? We can put that with the Bat Creek stones. We could put that with the lost lunar tablets.
The lost lunar stone, which has the same block Phoenician Hebrew writing on it as well.
Now
So
A1,
if you ain't from them
A1,
three
that
places, you ain't a
A1,
Hebrew. So that's
A1.
saying that if you ain't from them three places, if you ain't from Newark, Ohio, Tennessee, or wherever them other stones is at in Peru, you ain't a Hebrew.
Okay,
You
but
ain't a Hebrew,
hold
can't be a Hebrew because that shit went.
hold on,
Give me 30
hold on,
seconds, 30
hold on.
seconds. So y'all the one brought it up. Just give me 30 seconds. That's all I need. My grandma's city is where the Hebrew stones is at. Tennessee is where the Bat Creek stones is at. So you have to be from them designated areas or around them to claim Hebrew because you didn't even know how to talk Hebrew because there was nowhere around the world where the language was spoken.
Root, you need to calm down with all that fucking with all that shit, bro. For real.
But
You
see,
need to
that's
chill
what
out.
y'all scared of is a regular debate.
Ain't nobody scared of nothing, bro. Ain't nobody scared of nothing, bro. I have family.
Just like
I have
told
family
that
going into
nigga
Tennessee.
that there's no such thing
You don't
as
know nothing about my
Jerusalem in
genealogy.
Peru, y'all can't rebut it. Just like when y'all bring up the lost lunar stones, just like when y'all bring up the Bat Creek stones and the ones in Newark, when I say that we're the true Hebrews and all the rest of you niggas is fake, y'all can't rebut it. That's how you build and show them motherfuckers information.
You need to invest that money in some mental health.
Root, you were fresh off being a Moor. You
Bat Creek, your name is Bat Creek Stones, and you might not even never been to Tennessee or Ohio.
I have family that come from Tennessee, bro. You don't know nothing about my genealogy.
You didn't.
Hey, look.
Bro, Root.
No,
Have
I'm
you
just
seen my
trying to say you're
genealogy,
not
bro?
a Hebrew, sir. Quit trying to take our identity and our history. The brother Alabama.
What are you talking
Quit
about?
trying to put our
What are you
history to
talking about?
Peru, nigga. Put that shit to America.
Look.
Mute y'all
Hey,
niggas
listen.
Around the biggest.
I gotta mute y'all
Hey,
niggas
yo,
up.
hey, my man.
Y'all stopping the build.
All right, look, real quick.
Motherfucking build right now.
All right, real quick, right? Listen, the Hebrews, right? I mean, well, I'm not the Hebrews, but the Aniyawiyah, right? That's Hebraic, okay? They spoke a form of Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? But it's so ancient that they see the thing is that they're hiding it, and they don't wanna like make suggestions or make talking points that suggest that the Cherokees or the Aniyawiyas also spoke Hebrew, right? And that's not just the Cherokees, but it also would be the other nations that was on the other side of the Appalachian Mountains, right? It would be some of the Algonquin. It would be some of the Iroquois. So we
I would just like for you to prove that, bro.
Huh?
No, I'm just saying because I understand that there was Hebrew groups and then there was groups that
Man, you
didn't
gotta
have the
cut
languages like what you're
everybody
saying.
off. Root word,
I just wonder how they was together. That's
Root
all
word,
I'm asking is how they was together. That's it.
Nah, hey, root word. That's kind of a like, you know, that I mean, that's not what my man was saying, but I mean, if that's what you want when I get back from the gym, me and you, if you want to come on, because I got to do a live stream anyway. And I
No,
told
I
the
just think
people
them people was a different entity. That's all, brother. Nothing. I know
they
we
are,
all one
but
blood.
Hebrew, there's no such thing as Hebrew. Hebrew is a language that was Hebrew is a word that was created by these Europeans, right?
It's a Greek word.
Yeah, or like people, or like Todd say, the ones that crossed over, right? So there's no such people as Hebrews. There's no such people as Jews, or none of that shit, right? All of that shit was created by white people to kind of separate. And see, all of these different separation groups, they try to yield one identity, I mean different identities to. When they all had the same identity, copper color Aborigine people. You understand what I'm saying? They want to say, oh, the Jews was this, and oh, the Hebrews was this, and the Christians and the Catholics was this. When they all was the same people, they all was Moors at some point in time. You want to say Moors, you want to say Aborigines, however you want to say. I myself is a Moor and an Aborigine. So that's a whole nother discussion. You know what I'm saying? I've never shied away from that, no matter who comes on the motherfucking panel. So that's a whole nother, and I got a fez. And my fez got 360 strands in the tassel that go 360 degrees, which equals 720, which is 720 degrees of knowledge, which I always try to represent. So yeah, I do got a fez. I do got a turban. I do got a motherfucking not a war bonnet, but a feather crown. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, I myself do not separate myself from these cultures because I have a bigger perspective to it when I see it. When I put my information together, it all tells me the same thing. Now, whether other people want to beg a different, that's up to them. I know what I've seen in my research. But as far as what the brother was saying, Harvest Butler, yeah, we can them 4 different sources, and also there's also I want to say this real quick before somebody cut me, right? There's also something that they found in Massachusetts, right? It was Hebrewic writing. I can't remember the exact name of it. I don't think it's
Now,
the
now,
lost.
A1, I think you're talking about Glenn Beck before he got put off and Blaze TV got bombarded. He was bringing out all of the, you know how stuff done what they call time capsules, where people bury stuff in the ground, etc. These were, and all those places you just mentioned, including root words, they pulled these things out of cornerstones of buildings. So the question was, they had not been tampered with until they got unearthed. And the parallels and the similarities of something that was before 1492 that showed what you were saying as proto, quote unquote, Hebraic language. It's not Hebraic language, it was our Aboriginal language.
That's a fact.
And then people compared it to what is considered as he. See, now these people today, the so-called Ashkenazim, you notice they do not speak Hebrew, they speak Yiddish, which is a form of a Germanic dialogue from Dutch languages.
Also,
when people don't, go ahead, bro.
No. We're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna play ping pong. Also, that language has ties to like what the Slavic people speak. You know what I'm saying? It's a funny thing, right? It's like Spanish or Latin, right? Portuguese speak Latin, and so do Italian. They speak Latin. An Italian person can understand Spanish. They just don't.
But as you just said, they are based on Latin.
Exactly.
Ancient, supposed
when y'all be
ancient
saying a lot of
Latin.
these languages, like the Algonquin, and when y'all said that Hebraic stuff and everything, there's only 2 type of language. There's Eastern languages like the Slavic and the Aryan and the Iranian languages, and then there's the Western languages, which you just call the Germanic and the Latin languages. So there's only 4. But the languages y'all was saying that's over here, that Hebrew stuff, when y'all say that it comes from the Slavic people or people from out east, that's impossible for people with the Eastern language.
Rude, I think you're still not hearing what we just said.
I'm the only person, bro. I'm the only person on YouTube that could understand languages. I don't think nobody on this panel can understand languages. But no, I'm just saying that I'm okay though that I could speak my, even though nobody believe me, I'm gonna speak my piece and nobody gonna rebut it though. So if I don't understand what you're saying, just keep on going because y'all be acting like I'm ignorant, but I'm top dog in this language shit.
Root word.
And I'll be getting a little upset at that shit because a lot of niggas be knowing that I got the scholarship on that language shit, but they be trying to overwrite this nigga. But I digress though, man.
That's not what he was saying. He was saying that.
But you're not.
Hold up.
I'm saying that y'all don't know nothing about language when y'all keep saying stuff about the Slavic language.
I know way more about language than you, root word. Your shit been pseudo.
Hey, yo, my man. Hey, look, hey, family. Can you stop getting them? Hey, listen. Look. We ain't trying to turn this to a sex show.
Hold on. We better get ready to wrap this motherfucker up anyways. All right. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. We got to keep it calm and cool, man. We about to wrap it up, man. I'm going to let you finish up with what you trying to say, A1. I got to get the hell out of here.
Hey, listen. Hey, fellas. Look. We ain't trying to turn this into... That's why AP don't let people on the panel too often no more. Because it's always the arguing and the bickering shit. And the personality and the personal shit. I don't have nothing personal against the brother. Me and Root Word that had issues, that's still my brother. You understand what I'm saying? And the senseless arguments and bickering shit, we gotta stop that. We gotta keep this to an educational build. So when people listen to this shit, they don't just hear niggers. Because this is what people hear. People, when they click onto these live streams and hear a panel where we going back and forth and we don't practice discourse, they assert us with being niggas. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to be educators or people who's giving a hypothesis on their observation at the end of the day. So whatever personal you got with that brother Root Word, y'all need to go in the back chat, solve that, so we can have a bill. You know what I'm saying? AP brought some great information out that we should be focused on the information that he brought out, not focus on what Root Word is saying and going back and forth with Root Word. You understand what I'm saying? Root Word making some great points, but the brother did not say. He said that the fake Jews and shit, they speak Yiddish, and I said that Yiddish is a form of Slavic language, not Hebrew. We're not talking about Hebrew. We're talking about Yiddish. He said they do not speak Hebrew.
They don't. And so, AP, when you're looking at them, and even at the University of Israel, they teach Hebrew. They don't speak it first.
Bro,
Secondly, and the Ashkenazim, because this is them calling themselves. People who call themselves Jews today, 95% of them claim Ashkenazi origin. That's when you start getting into Khazaria, the Emperor of Khazar, and when he brought in the three major religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, he chose, quote unquote, Judaism to try to tame those wild barbarian hordes. I know you're familiar with that, A1. So,
that's a fact.
So when people start discussing these things, we have to put them in containers. There are different silos. Like he said, there is Eastern European, there is Western European, there is quote unquote African tribal linguistic groups, and then there is what is here, which everybody wants to confuse and misdirect us to those other areas and land masses. We have to get to the bottom of that and be of one accord on that fact. Stop quarreling over what your opinion is of it. That is a fact. All of these other land masses and all these other nationalities and language groups are targeting us for a specific agenda to convince us we are not who we are, the descendants of the original inhabitants of Turtle Island, North America, North Central, South Americas, the Americas, however you want to describe it, and then displace us to somewhere else. We need to try to start speaking clearly in that fashion for our children and our grandchildren's sake. And I yield.
See, something we do as a whole community, we be on that African shit because it's that oral talking. Oral means a motherfucker could run game to you, could throw some bullshit in your game. I ain't cutting nobody off. See, we need to start having shit written down so we could check what a person say. Like, see, I keep saying America is Rome. I keep saying there is indigenous white motherfuckers over here. I keep saying there was Moors over here. So that's going to be in my creed. Most of you motherfuckers and most of you scholars, y'all don't have a creed or nothing to stand on. That's why y'all can switch up every 10 minutes. And that's the problem inside of all of our communities that's melanated. We go off this African oral history and be talking for hours and nobody want to debate the information, which makes us stupid. I digress.
Hey, look. Hey, listen, right? Check it out. Hey, my brother. Hey, I always say you talking on him. My man. Well, I forgot your name, brother. Can you tell me your name? The one that was speaking before Root Word.
You talking? Okay, you talking to me, A1?
Yes, sir.
What? Yes. Okay. I will answer directly what you're saying because it's not about a confusing thing for me.
No, I said,
what's
your
name?
No.
Go ahead.
What's your name, my brother?
Ali Bamu.
All right, Ali Bamu. Okay, listen, Ali Bamu. You got enough content to go about 2 hours on the live stream?
I got another appointment I have to deal with today. I just wanted to do one specific point. When people want to dismiss an oral history prior to supposed written history, that's where the trick is being played on us. It is not a either or, it's a both and. All of our oral history before the invasion of these people who claim they documented, and the same ones who claim they documented lied in their documentation. So when you're going to go and say the academia given to us by colonizers and imperialists has more legitimacy than what Big Mama and our great grandparents, if you had enough benefit to interact with them, had as their actual existence as a culture, you got a mental problem.
When
Because
anybody
what
comes to
other
you,
people,
when
what other people,
anybody, hold on, man. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here, y'all. I'm trying to let everybody say their words. I gotta go. I don't want to just end it right abruptly. I gotta really get.
Thank you, Copper Grizzly. But again, my point is, this is not an either
Salute,
or.
OG. Thanks, Copper
It's a
Grizzly,
both.
man.
It's a both and.
Man, you still
And
want to
when
get
we
a
put,
point across? Come
when
on, man.
we put,
Stupid motherfucker.
when we put side by side what is our oral tradition and what is supposedly documented, we have a way. This is the problem with a person who has an ego problem.
Power. It be these buster ass niggas you be having up here, bro.
So
Bro, can you
A1
chill the fuck out and let the nigga talk?
I want you to have a wonderful day, Root Words, man. It's okay.
So in answering what you were asking, A1, doing a comparative analysis would hopefully get us to some future point where we can show verification and independent authorization. And I yield on that.
Shout to
Hey,
my Alabama.
hey, bro, and let me say one thing before we get out of here, AP. Hey, Root Word. I don't think this brother
Root
was
Word's
being
not on here no more. He's not on
okay. All right, this brother was not being disrespectful to Root Word. This brother was not saying anything. He wasn't even saying anything in opposition to what Root Word was saying. He was actually just adding on to the point to what we all are saying. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the brother for the great commentary on the history and with the linguistics and everything. You know, shout out to all the Aborigines, North, South, Central, as well as the conjoining islands, man. You know, this your brother, your humble servant, Ahanu TL, aka
You
A1.
want to speak on the up and coming pay-per-view this up and coming Sunday coming up before we get out?
Yeah. Oh, it's Return of American Gods Part 3. Okay. You go back and check out the first two bills I did on the series of American Gods. This will be the third and final chapter. Unless we find some more information, there will be a continuation, which will be American Gods Part 4. Okay, this bill that me, AP, Jaguar, and hopefully we could bring the sister in, like we talked about yesterday. It's going to be a bill on the structures that AP been showing. Plus, we're gonna go back over the American Indian Encyclopedia, and we're gonna show you other sources to basically prove our point, as well as, like I said, the structures. It's gonna be a super heavyweight jam. Okay, so I hope all the people will attend. It will be a pay-per-view. We will be asking for $20 per individual. We will send out the email. You will cash app the brother. And then once we get the cash app, you'll put your email in the cash app. We'll send you the link for the we'll send you the link for the private chat. But I hope people attend. Like I said, the reason we're going to do this pay-per-view, because it's about time, man. It's enough information out there. You know, we got a lot of work. You know, I run 2 businesses. You know, I'm a father, and I do other things.
So even after the live actual event, if you wanted to purchase the pay-per-view afterwards, you will be able to do that afterwards and be able to get a link to be able to watch the video privately on your own after you purchase the pay-per-view.
AP and A1, thank you both, brothers. And if you didn't hear me, A1, tell AP, if you haven't seen the Stars series, American Gods, it will be what I've been saying.
Okay,
showing how
you reminded me. I'm gonna go watch that right now while I get ready.
Showing how we've been told these God concepts got transported to America. None of what I'm saying is that I agree with it. I am saying how it's being packaged by these people to teach us. I told this to Chief the last time I talked to Chief. It is not immigration with an I. That means being invited. It is immigration with an E. These are people who fled, whether it's criminals from war, famine, whatever, but they are emigres, Emigres. And this series shows you how they brought their concepts over here and imposed them on us. I'll land my plane on that. Thank you, Copper Grizzly. Much love and peace to all the panel members, including you, Root Words. Try to get a chill pill, brother. Have a great Sunday.
Shout out to my brother Rootwork. Shout out to Alabama. Shout out to Bat Creek. Shout out to Matthew Craig, aka Black Lotus. And also shout out to my brother on Taunton this one. Make sure y'all get the pay-per-view this upcoming Sunday. The Return of American Gods Part 3. Exclusively re-explore with all exclusive information. So make sure y'all tune in, man. Shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen. With that being said, make sure y'all be safe. Make sure y'all be aware. Make sure you stay vigilant. This your brother, Aboriginal Power. We got peace.
Peace to the God.
Peace, everybody.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with perky, now that hair on them is veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTS before MP, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stirrup. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stirrup. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't